All right, and we are recording. This is the Chronicles of the Folk Band, session 21. And our heroes last left the rebuilding port last in the capable hands of Roy and Herschel before teleporting back to Neverwinter with new friend Mishka in tow. From there, the group handed Mishka over to Lord Neverember to get some Zentarum intel. They find and speak with Agatha, and then they head to Everlund to share some information with Varnock, Crowlin, and the Harpers.
What?
The group make plans to head north into the spine of the world to seek out the Eye of the Allfather, the giant oracle, and hope to find an Emerald Enclave member Baldir along the way, somewhere in the Larkwood. So the team is now in the tower, I think it's Moongleam Tower of the Harpers in Everland, and I think we are ready to go. Welcome back, folk band.
Well, yeah, folk band all the way. The friggin' folk band.
Yeah.
So our plan was pretty much just to head north. I think we had.
I think we were debating. Hang on, I have my notes. We were like talking back and forth about whether we should go into the Lurkwood to find the guy, to find Baldir. Oh boy. And that was like the last thing that we were talking about, whether or not it was like whether or not we should just go to the spine of the world, because that's you know.
Right, because Nyx had a connection to someone that could help us.
Yeah, so if we went to Baldir, they have a connection to the cloud giants, which would which the cloud giants have been known to help small folk, or more willing to help small folk. So they might be able to get us into the place where all the giants meet. Maelstrom.
Right.
But then we were like looking at the map, and it's like, we could just like fast travel and then go straight to the spine of the world and then go see Baldir. So I think that was like one of our things where we're like, are we going to see Baldir, or are we going straight to the spine of the world?
Right. We also figured out the Mountain of Mam's whole deal. Not that that was something we were considering doing immediately, but I did just remember that was something we learned of.
Hang on, let me look. Yep. We did find that out. It's in the Nether Mountains near Everland. Yes. But I don't know if that's like, that was not like an immediate thing. We're trying to stop the giants from.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything feels interconnected and very odd right now. So I'm like,
Thanks, Nick.
Open world.
Yes, thank you, Nick, for this wonderful open world. We love it very much. Please don't let the giants destroy it. Let's figure out how to stop the giants from destroying it.
Keeping you busy.
Yes, very busy, very fun. Am I lagging, or is?
I can hear you.
Okay, no, I just don't see Zwazos on the.
Oh, I also don't see Zwazos.
Yeah. Have you connected?
I have. You just
haven't picked your character yet, huh? There you go.
There we go. There's Zwazos. Okay.
So I don't remember the finer points of our whole discussion and considerations from last time, but I think I'm gonna say I would vote to just go straight for the eye.
I think that's what we ended up with at the very end.
Seconded.
Is that we should? I think that's what we ended up with at the end, to just go straight to the Eye of the Allfather. And that once when we're coming down. Oh, if I could duck. I don't have the right map. Pardon me. Hang on. Pardon me. 1 second. Pause. 1 second. At the end of the day, we did decide to go to the Eye of the Allfather, I believe. And then that we could go through the Lurkwood when we came back, if there was time. Because it looks like it's like straight down. Although those also look like very steep cliffs to get to the Lurkwood. So, maybe not. But you said you had, ma'am has a teleporter in Mirabar? Is that the closest we could go?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have Mirabar.
So we could go to Mirabar and then walk up to the Eye of the Allfather.
I have the Allfather is on the north map.
Is
Or is it on Sword Coast?
It's on the.
Sword Coast.
Sword
It's on Sword Coast.
Oh, right, there it is. Yeah. Yeah, we could. It looks like the easiest way up, I feel like we talked about, was probably just going up the valley.
Yeah, so going to Mirabar and then up the valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. What? So, Nick, I'm not getting a line to show. Oh, there it is. Ha ha ha! It's happening.
Go.
And so, oh geez, 200 miles. Holy crap!
Just a cool 200 miles.
We're done. We've been friggin' spoiled by all these teleportation circles that we have access to now.
Yeah.
For 200 miles, geez, that's gonna be. We're talking about what, half a week?
What's that?
I think. Hold on.
Do you have anything that makes us faster?
Oh, we got platypels.
Yeah.
Platypels that go faster than I do flying by double.
So 13 miles an hour at a fast pace, or 10 miles an hour at normal pace.
On the platypels.
Yes.
So it would still be 20 hours total?
Yes.
I'm proud of it.
Which feasibly, I mean, that's just 2 long days.
Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
Especially if the platypels are being constantly resummoned and it's not like they need to stop and rest.
And I'm actually just realizing that the line I made that said 200 miles was just to like the end of the valley. We still have however many miles that says. 45 more to go.
Yeah, and I imagine once we get to that point, it's probably going to be mostly on foot, getting over mountains and stuff.
Bardo. Bardo is in Mirabar. At the bar.
Yeah, Bardo. That's right.
Bardo. I was like, there's somebody in Mirabar that has our back, so maybe we could talk to Bardo real quick when we travel there, just to see like if they've traveled up those mountains or know anything about those mountains. Same with Captain Dina, but I don't know where she's gone off to.
What's the travel speed of the platabeladons again?
Normal pace 10 miles an hour, fast pace 13 miles an hour.
Yeah, because the movement speed's 100 feet, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we did the math. However long
Well,
ago.
it specifically says at a speed of 100 feet can travel 10 miles in an hour, 13 miles at a fast pace.
Cool.
Yeah, so about 100 miles. That's right. About 100 miles every 8 hours. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so I guess we'll. I mean, these are just Harper teleportation circles, I believe. So I don't even need to use
Spell slot.
a spell slot. So we'll probably say our goodbyes. I'm pretty sure we wrapped up all our conversations. The
Yes.
dragon cultists are meeting us at the Eye of the Allfather.
I forgot about that. I forgot about
I did too until I just started thinking about like
Okay.
threads and people that we need to talk to.
Note, dragon cultists will meet us there.
So that's a little confusion on my part. They're not actually dragon cultists. That was the original in Storm King's Thunder. It would have been dragon cultists. In this case, it's the druids. It's Claugyliamatar's druids who are meeting you there.
Oh,
Okay.
I was thinking dragon cultists as in like cultists of Claugyliamatar.
I guess that's fair. I guess they could be. I mean, yeah, I suppose they are kind of cultists of hers, aren't they?
But in the actual thing, they would be like dragons who are cultists. Is that
Yeah, they're actual like dragon cult
okay? That's pretty
like
cool.
members. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely have it in my head that that we are not being visited by actual dragons. I'm expecting humanoids.
I expected humanoids too, but I was thinking like the ones that were looking after the scalies. Like I was thinking like the scalies are like just like ramped up, and I forgot all about the druids and Claudia for a second. Alrighty, so dragon cultists, Claudia's cultists. Awesome. All right, so I think we'll just say our final goodbye and
Yeah.
head out.
Yep.
All right. So you are. Anything else you want to do while you're here? Are you heading right out? All set?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So. Yeah. Okay. So you head on over to the teleporter. And
Before we leave, Ma'am asks if she can have a bag of coffee grounds from that
Crowan.
guy from Crowan,
Crowan.
just in case we reunite with Naruk.
Sure. And he's like, "Oh yeah. Let me run upstairs and So he does. He'll run upstairs and get you a little bag of coffee. Oh, look at that.
Aww.
Thanks, friend.
Let's see. I don't have a cool thing to give you. Bag of coffee. Yeah. Let's see. That's. There you go. All right. And so he brings just this little sack. He doesn't really have like a good like sealable coffee container or anything, so he just has like this little sack, and he's gonna go ahead and give that to you. And Tory bag of coffee. There you go. Right. And with that, he wishes you farewell. And Varnock wishes you well. He says he'll try to check in as much as he can, as much as he would love to try to check in with you every day. He says he has a lot of networks And he's starting to get a little exhausted from having to cast multiple every day. So he'll try to check in with you every once in a while. It likely will not be every night, but you're welcome to check in with him as well. And if anything major happens, he'll let you know and asks the same from you.
Sure, just don't leave all the sending to me, Mam says with just like a little wink.
And he kind of smiles. He's like, I agree. We'll reach out here and there, and we have some acolytes as well. So if you hear from someone you don't recognize, it may be us as well. Got to delegate some of this stuff,
Yeah. God, I hate that like unknown sender. Though, you're never sure exactly what you're gonna get. I'll make sure to pick up though.
Excellent. I promise I won't call about your platabel warranty.
Hate those.
Oh boy.
All right, so you head into the teleportation chamber, and as usual, you step in, you see the runes, you close the door, you see the town listed on the back of the door, and you touch the Mirabar one, and the lights start to glow a very light red, and you get this similar sensation of the ceiling opening up into a starry space. You are pulled up into it. You get the sensation of traveling at about a zillion miles an hour, and then suddenly you find yourselves in a wooden room with a little bit of straw here and there, with the red light fading on the runes around you, and you recognize back in Mirabar, and you know that the teleportation circle here is in the top of a hay barn, as part of a stable. Where the stable owner does not necessarily know that this teleportation circle is here. So you do remember that a little bit of discretion is needed when making your way out. So.
Do we hear
I
anything?
can take a peek out. I can take a peek out. Stealthily.
Okay. So.
And I can maybe provide the help action with a properly timed thaumaturgy to distract away from.
No, we're good.
Direction?
We're good. I got the stealth. I can stealth.
Let's see.
I appreciate it, but I also we're not supposed to draw attention at all.
I was just trying to find the way to provide the help action, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you were.
All right.
Yeah. Zoazos was not proficient in stealth, so you can't provide help. So, yes. So let's get a requested roll here for stealth.
Da.
So Nyx stealthily grabs at the door. The two of you can see the handle moving, but you don't hear anything, and very slowly you poke your head out. And you can see there is a person. Whose name I don't remember. There is a person. Looks like they're like raking hay. They're in the hay loft, and you recognize this person as the Harper agent that kind of maintains this teleportation circle.
Oh shoot! Did I write down their names?
Is he within 30 feet
I think
of us?
I'm sorry?
Is he within 30 feet of us?
I still didn't hear that.
Is he within 30 feet of us?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll cast message to just wordlessly connect to him, asking if the coast is clear.
And you see him kind of start and look around. Yes. And you see him turn back towards the door, and you've got the door open like a crack, and there's, Nyx is kind of peeking out. And he kind of holds his hand to his chest for a minute, and he's like, And then he kind of, you see him peek where you know the stairs to be, and he kind of looks down the stairs, and then he kind of gives you a little like, yes, you're clear. Come on. He's like, hey, welcome back. I don't think the owner's in right now. I think he's out. So your timing is perfect. He should be back probably in about an hour for dinner, but until then, he usually just stays away. Are you in town for anything specific? Can I help with anything?
We're just passing through.
You ever had a valley of I can't read the whole word because arrows are in the way. Kedron. You ever had a valley of Kedron?
Oh, the valley? I mean, I've never been up that way, but it's kind of an easy way up through the mountains. I think there's a few things that it leads up to. There's a and he's like, there's the Great Worm Cavern up there. There's the Giant Oracle is up that way. It's really kind of the only easy way into the mountains, unless you're heading up towards the mines of Mirabar.
Yeah, so if we happen to be heading up to the Giant's Oracle, that would probably be the way.
Oh, that's the way. Yeah, unless you can fly. The valley it almost brings you straight to it. You get to where the valley opens up, and you'll see that off to the right, there's some paths that go up towards the cavern, but I wouldn't recommend going up there. But then you'll see the valley kind of continues to the left, and it almost leads you right to the valley of the Allfather, which is where the temple is.
All right. Anything specific we should keep an eye out for? Anything to worry about?
Well, I mean, it's pretty wild up there. Where there have been sightings of winter wolves and yetis, and of course you never know when you might find a frost giant up there.
Sure.
But he kind of looks you over, and he looks at you, ma'am, and he sees your heavy cloak, and he's like, and then he looks at the rest of you. It's a little cold up there. You might want some winter clothes if you're planning to spend any time that way.
It's a good recommendation.
Do we still have sets of cold weather gear from another adventure?
I thought we did. Hang on. I thought we did, but we also may have stored it in the manor.
That was a long time ago.
Oh, right, from Icespire.
Yeah. Going into my inventory, 1 second. I had the Ring of Warmth, but I didn't attune to it. Oops.
Yeah, I don't see winter clothes in your inventory.
Where can we get our hands on something to keep warm?
And he says, "Oh, you can head to the marketplace. It's pretty easy to find. Or if you want to give me your size, I can go get it for you. If you don't want to, I mean, y'all kind of stand out a little bit here."
Sounds like a good plan to me.
It should only take me a little while. I don't think it's all that expensive. Not even a thing? Okay. Let's see. Okay, now there is. He's like, yeah, I things are a lot more expensive than they used to be, but I think it should only cost a gold per person. So you got a couple of gold. I can go. And he looks at you, Zwazos, and he looks at Nyx. Yeah, I can. You're pretty humanoidish. I can. And he kind of looks at your wings. He's like, we can just cut a couple holes in the back. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'll toss him a couple coins. Do we need? So, Justin, is Mam's cloak gonna do, or do we need 3 sets?
Yeah, the cloak is fine. You got that
Okay.
from Bardo. Yep. Did you take 2 gold out of your inventory?
I have not, but I will.
Okay. Right. So he's
Now
like,
I'm down
okay.
to
He's
1
like,
G.
this shouldn't take me very long. Just wait here. Should maybe about 20 minutes, and I'll be back. And
Should we kind of head back, with the teleportation circle in case the owner shows up?
you should have a little while. He normally doesn't come back till right around 5 o'clock. He only comes back for dinner. He's too cheap to pay for dinner at the tavern. He kind of looks up at the sky. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'd say you have about probably an hour or so. By the time I get back, you'll still have at least a half an hour before he comes back.
All right.
But actually, why don't I have you come down and you can wait in my little shack, and that way, if for whatever reason he does show up here, we'll just say that you're my friends, and that way he won't be weirded out about you being in the stables.
Sure.
Alrighty,
So-
sounds good. Ooh, bless
So
you,
he brings
bless
you.
you. I
He
know.
brings you over some. So you come down out of the barn and you come out, and I think I'll share the map here again.
I know, the hay just gets in your nose, right? It just gets right up in your nose.
Yeah. Ma'am pulls a full length of straw out of her trunk.
Oh, oh.
I hate when that happens. Ugh. Oh.
Oh dear.
So yeah, so you know that you're coming out of this barn here, and he just kind of takes you around inside of this little building here, and it's pretty cramped for Mam's size, and then the two of you, as well as Amos and Bubble. He's just one person, so it's really just a single room like efficiency, and one of you can sit on the bed, one of you sits on the chair, and another one of you will probably just have to sit on the floor. But he takes your couple of gold, and he heads out. And he says, I'll only be about 20 minutes.
I'd like to start thumbing through the tome.
Okay. Where do you want to keep track of how much time you?
Can we discuss the tome?
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
you guys. Yep. Take you 20 minutes.
So I have some reservations of starting to go up to that high, I guess is that the level that we're moving on to? Is that are we to be expected that that will be a thing that we will be moving to, getting level 24 and stuff in our stats?
So full disclosure. So a couple things. Full disclosure. Number one, I had not planned that. I didn't know that was even a thing. But at the same time, that was the item that you rolled on the treasure table. It was not something that I had planned, but at the same time, I don't want to dissuade such a thing. You rolled a 98 on the 100 table and got the primo magic item. So on the one hand, no, I had not planned to bring you all to +7 ability scores. On the other hand, I'm already feeling like with the items that you have, with the way you've divvied them out, with your power level is kind of already in that stratosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So another +1 on Zwazos's spell DC is not going to make or break encounters. They're already broken. You're all already destroying things that are, plus 10 your challenge rating level. Like, I'm literally throwing massively deadly encounters at you for your level, and you're barely getting hurt. So with those two things, full disclosure, like, I've long ago given up trying to actually beat you up in a fight. And so, that being said, there's also a dynamic here where anyone who can challenge Zwazos would likely destroy, like, Nyx, or if
Yeah.
so it's really tough the way that Zwazos is set up, that the power level of Zwazos is just so much higher than any other character that another +1, like, whatever, like, you're already way up there. As evidenced by the fact that you destroyed my major bad guy without even taking a hit, because you can just fly up in the air, cast greater invisibility, and then that's it. Nobody can even see you, let alone hurt you, touch you. You've got bless on all the time. Like, I can't challenge that. And so I have to do other things. And that's where I've shifted. I've shifted to other things. So that's my way of saying, in my opinion, a +1 isn't going to make or break the game. But it does create a bigger divide between Zwazos and everyone else.
I mean, for what it's worth, Nick, if it's something that you'd be open to, I'd be perfectly willing to, like, retcon the tome be some other tome or manual that one of the others could make use of to kind of balance things out.
I don't know that would balance anything out. I mean, like I said, I rolled on the magic table for a reason. If we were to change what that item was, it again kind of defeats the purpose of rolling on the table. But this is about fun. Everything that I said, full disclosure, like, I'm still having fun. I'm still having fun throwing extremely deadly encounters at you, and I'm balancing them in a way that I feel has been working. So, kind of back in your courts, what do you all feel like would be an appropriate fun solution / option?
I mean, I'm still having fun, and I feel like Nyx is appropriately challenged in certain areas, I feel like there's an appropriate challenge for everybody. So, I mean, if it's not going to break it any further than we're already broken, then I think go for it. I mean, it kind of fits Zwazos' mentality, right, of getting better and stronger, so... Right, like, as a character, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And honestly, that was part of it for me. Michael, I know that's the crux of your fun. You like being powerful. You like your character being a badass. That's, and maybe I'm assuming I'm interpreting that correctly.
Yeah, I mean, certainly this one is.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's even something that I've, like, built into, like, the character's identity, is the idea of becoming more powerful, like, hence the warlock levels and stuff like that. Like,
exactly. So I don't want to artificially prevent that.
I can understand, Justin. I can understand your hesitancy.
Yeah, me too.
But it's
Like,
also, I don't know. If it's not going to break it any further, right?
I think hearing what you said, Nick, that does give me more comfort. I was, more, I know you have already talked about the fact that our balancing is pretty just bonkers at this point. So if you are feeling good about it, my only other thought is there could always be the potential that we wind up with another character that might want that plus to charisma at some point, who might already, I guess I'm thinking, like, I know, Michael, you mentioned that Mario had expressed he might create a new character when he comes back. if he
Yeah, I did
comes
check in with
in-
Mario because
Oh, cool.
I felt like that was fair.
if he came in with like a sorcerer or a charisma based character, then all of a sudden we all have +6 in our main stat. Zwazos has +7, and he's stuck back at +5. I don't know if that's reasonable to make the decision to not use it. That would just be the only other thing on my mind. But I don't want to be a party pooper, where I know Mike
I think
excited for it, and
I mean, yeah, I have, but I mean, like, I definitely want. I don't want to make anybody else at the table feel like they're ineffectual. I mean, and I hope that hasn't been happening.
I don't think that this isn't going to make Mam feel ineffectual by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think.
I mean, if I guess I could reach back out to Mario again and ask him if he has an idea of what kind of new character he did tell me go ahead and use it, so I don't.
Okay, well, as long as
because I expressly said to him, hey Mario, we found this tome, I'll save it for you if you want to come back with Naruk. I don't know if I brought up the idea of another charisma-based character, which is maybe something that's worth bringing up to him. But we could.
I think it's sounding.
It's going to take me. I was going to say it's going to take me days anyway to do it, and if I understand correctly, mechanically, nothing's going to happen to the book if I decide halfway through I'm going to save it for later. It just says that you have to study it for 48 hours over the course of no more than 6 days. So if by the time the 6th day comes you haven't done the 48 hours, you just have to start over. Is my understanding.
That's correct. You either finish it or it's still available to use. It's one or the other. It's not, and it won't be It won't be stuck on you once you start to read from. There's no downside to starting and not finishing, other than you have to start over.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like I can start because I'm not gonna have 48 available hours this session, I'm guessing. So
Probably not.
So I figure I could start it and then I'll check in with Mario and like you said, try as if to balance things out and make sure that he is at least, on par with the rest of us and not feeling like he's a +2 to his modifier behind.
And I would not bring someone into a session like this if their character was not at your level. That's not something that's not fun. And that's like if someone misses a session they don't level up like the rest of you, they're always one level. That's not fun. I'm not, so when he comes back, whatever character he plays, they'll be at the level. He won't need this book to make sure that he's not underpowered.
Okay. With all that being said, I appreciate everyone taking a pause to discuss, and I think my concerns are what's that word? My concerns, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, you're cool.
Yes, that's the.
Thank you. Yes.
Nick, assuage. Yeah, I was mostly concerned, like I said, I don't want to continue to make things more and more bonkers for you, Nick. But if you're feeling good about it, then let's do it.
I was really concerned about that for a while. I had a hard time, making because when I make encounters, I want them to be challenging. But I finally had to give up the whole power balance challenge rating thing. And honestly, since I've totally just given that up, I'm having a ton of fun making encounters that should destroy you, should just absolutely stomp you into the ground. Like when I tell people that you killed 12 frost giants in a single, they're like, how? And I'm like, well, they might have a few magic items, and And I'm also at this place where I can give you all the magic items I want because you only have three attunement slots.
That's true.
Most of the magic stuff I give you, you can't even use because you've got better stuff already.
That also brings up the point. Can I start attuning to the Ring of Warp?
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a slot available, it only takes an hour.
Oh my god. I'm like, that brings up a good point. Can I please try, since we're going into a cold place, can I please?
So for me, your power level is freeing as a DM. I can throw whatever I
Alright.
want at you. I can, I can make really hard, challenging. The other thing I'm trying to do more is more puzzles, more, kind of, I'm trying to do more than just combat because combat's very fun, but also not the main way that I'm going to challenge these characters now.
I also think for what it's worth, and while we're on the topic, I think you've been doing a fantastic job of creating combat encounters that are not just beat 'em ups. Like I think
Yeah.
about the Dawn Titan thing of like, I mean, you even said we weren't supposed to catch them.
You weren't.
But like
Nope.
that was such a fun encounter to have that as a goal, and
Yeah.
it's not just beating up these waves of enemies. It literally is like where we're trying to stop something that isn't just about damage.
Yeah, and like the idea that there's also like other people to protect and worry about collateral damage and things like that. Like I think that's a really creative and a really great way to make things more challenging without just slaughtering us with some
Exactly.
Tarrasque or
raising
something.
hit points and raising damage. Good.
I love it.
Good. So I'm glad what I'm doing is at least working so far, and we'll keep.
World's best DM.
I appreciate that. I try.
Yes.
I'm always evolving. I also, since we're talking about it, I also want to call out. Last session felt like there was a lot of, I guess the term is shoe leather. There was a lot of non-necessary to the story stuff going on. Last session felt a little tedious to me. Like there was a lot of time spent on nothing important. So I'm also trying to eliminate kind of a lot of that shoe leather, as it would be. So trying to keep encounters to things that are actually important to moving the story or the side quest forward. So if anyone else felt a little bored last session like I did, rest assured that I felt that, and I will try to eliminate that as well. Not eliminate, because,
But yeah, mitigate.
cut it back. All right.
Awesome.
So you are hanging out in this little one-bedroom efficiency. Zwazos's gathering 30 minutes. I'm just going to make a note for that. Let's see.
Does Ma'am still have that in her pack, or was that in the group thing?
Which?
The book. I figured.
Zwazos has it in his bag of holding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure where it ended up after identify.
Okay. All right. So you're getting 30 minutes in.
Where are you making that note, Nick? Do you want me to make my own, or?
I'm making a public note, so you can look at it, but I'll try to maintain it. And you started it today, which is the 20th of Elite. Okay, you're gonna get 30 minutes of Tome of Leadership time. Where am I gonna stick that? I'm gonna stick that over here. Oh, that reminds me. Okay. I'm also gonna add weather to our campaign here. I've got a cool little folk band land fall weather. So I just rolled on it. So today there is a light wind, no rain, and it's about 60 degrees, which is fairly normal for this season. All right. So that's what we've got for weather today. Okay. So you're hanging out. Zwazos is reading a little bit from the tome. Ma'am and Nix are doing what Ma'am and Nix do. 30 minutes goes by, and Bingram comes back, and he's got what looks like pretty typical heavy wool clothing. It looks like the fit is maybe not quite perfect. nix the sleeves on your coat. Go when left, they hang maybe a little bit over your fingers. Zuazos, he in about 5 minutes he's able to cut a couple holes for your kind of wings to get through in the back, and it's a little tight in the chest area, but for the most part it fits. Everything looks good, and so I am going to put winter clothes into both of your inventories here. Winter clothes. I don't know where that went. There it is. Okay. And then for Suazos as well. Winter clothes. Okay. All right. Fantastic. So you are fairly protected by the weather. So it is. It's about 3:45 p.m. And you are ready to go. Yeah. So he says, okay. He says, you probably have about half hour before the owner comes back if you want to head out. Just know that the city is pretty much in lockdown due to the wars going on. So when you leave, they might be a little surprised that they didn't see you come in. So just kind of be aware of that. Plus,
should I turn this invisible?
And he's like, that probably would be helpful. Then you'll have to sneak out when someone else gets out through the gate. They don't just leave the gates open. Although, no, yeah, that probably would work at the northwest gate. I think they pretty much leave that open. It's kind of a double gate, so they can watch people coming in. So if you're all invisible, you can probably get out pretty easy that way.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
And so, Nick, mechanically, Vark is still with us. So I need a
Oh yeah, I
level
forgot.
spell slot.
Yes, he's there as well. Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure that I use the right slot.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
And Amos can turn invisible by himself, and Bubble can just fly out. Like, obviously, you don't need to cast it on them.
So let's see. So
I forget that I can dismiss Bubble and just pop him back, right? That's a
bonus action, yeah.
here, right?
Is it a bonus action or an action?
Either way, I think I would only really ever do it outside of combat. So just knowing that I can.
Yeah.
So I will click off a 5th level slot, and then we're invisible.
Okay. And invisibility is an hour, right? Regular invisible. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. So you take your time, and you cast your level spell, invisible, and yeah. So the 4 of you are now invisible, and you have an hour to make your way out of the city. Oh, and does Vark need? That's interesting. I don't know if Vark needs winter clothes or not. What's his race called again?
Ursine.
Ursine. Thank you.
You.
Unaffected by the effects of extreme cold. 50. So no winter clothes for naked Vark. Mostly naked Vark. All right. So you are all set. I assume you're making your way to and out of the gate. Is there anything else you want to do while you're invisible in Mirabar?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Yeah. On that note, the 3 of you walk your way through the gates. I know Zwazos hates for his feet to touch the ground, so he's just going to fly over the gate since he's invisible. No problem. I am, just for shits and giggles, so there are a couple people milling around the gatehouse there as you're making your way past them. You just want to make sure you don't kind of bump into anybody or knock anything over. You should both have advantage on this since you're invisible as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So at one point, ma'am kind of bumps into somebody, but they you see them do a quick look around or whatever, and they just kind of keep going. And you make your way out of the city of Mirabar, and you are heading north on the on that little trail there. I forget if there's a name of that actual trail, but on the big map you can see that's the road to the mines of Mirabar. And based on your map, you have a good idea that at any point you can just kind of take a right, and it's the valley is right there, and you can start making your way northeast within the valley. And just kind of now that you're outside and just kind of looking, you can feel the briskness of the air. The sun is shining. Like I said, there's a light wind today and no rain, so while it is 60 degrees, you can feel the cold blowing down off the mountains. And you can see the mountains rising above. These are large mountains, and you can kind of understand why this is called the spine of the world. Just rugged, jagged peaks heading straight up. But looking off to the northeast, you can see that there is this nice valley that kind of cuts through, or is just in the I guess wayward, I'm not sure, side of the mountains, which kind of protect it from the worst of the winds and the weather. And it runs along the Mirabar River, so you really kind of have the option, well, not the option, but it's a pretty well-defined route. It's hard to, if you go too far right, you're just going to go swimming in the river, and if you go too far left, you're going to be mountain climbing. So it's a fairly easy trip, or fairly easy navigation, I should say. So go ahead and close this map out. And now that you are, I would say it takes probably 15, maybe 20 minutes before the gatehouse itself is out of sight. You can step into, if you want to step off the road or whatever, you can duck into some trees or whatever. But in about 15 or 20 minutes, you find yourselves out of sight of the gatehouse.
I think Ma'am will wait till then to start summoning platabels.
Okay.
And Zazos will maintain concentration on invisibility until, we're 100% certain we don't need it.
Okay. All right. Yep. So you make your way out of sight, and at this point, you can start your summoning, I guess, chain. Right. We talked about it takes about 10 minutes for this. Well, 10 minutes per person, and they last an hour. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can really get going after about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
After you've summoned the fourth one, and then from there you're just doing your thing. So since you're doing your thing, Zwazos, you're no longer concentrating on your invisibility. You can, like we talked about, you can start reading your tome at the same time if you want to. Zwazos is riding Platabel with, he's got the tome in his hands. He's doing some shock absorber shit going on. He's he might get a little, what am I thinking? It's hard to read a book in a car because you get travel sickness.
Little motion sick.
So, every motion sickness, yep. So every once in a while, Zwazos, you just kind of have to look away for a minute, close your eyes, get your bearings again. But you don't really lose any time with that. So after about 40 minutes, you head off from there. Okay, so let's Let's see. So you're gonna have to.
Did you want me to add that time to the list, Nick?
Yeah, I'm looking to see how much time we. Yeah, so you can. Yeah, so that 40 minutes, the initial 40 minutes you would spend, and then once they are summoned, then you start just cruising. Yep. Let's see. Do I have a thing for this? Somewhere. There we go. Okay. So somebody roll me a D100. I don't care who it is.
May I?
Oh,
Never
sorry.
mind.
92. Okay. Oh, that's not it. Oh, that's not it. Oh, interesting. Huh. Oh, look at that. Didn't even know that. All right. Let's see. Nyx, roll me a D4.
Already?
Okay. All right. So, about an hour into your trip, you start to see and in this kind of terrain, you've got pretty good sight. Zuazos, you're riding a platabel, so you're not flying, so you don't have kind of an overview. But sight lines are pretty long here. There's some hills which hide some stuff, but for the most part, the valley is pretty open. And up ahead, you can kind of see a small figure, what looks like they're heading towards you, and it looks like your paths are most likely going to meet. And you probably have about a 10-minute warning when you see this small figure. And when I say small, I mean like halfling, dwarfish sized person, and you can see they're obviously wearing clothing befitting to this area. Very heavy clothing. They don't look like they're moving very fast, and as you get closer, you can see that they're riding some. Or they're pulling along some type of what looks like maybe a small horse or something. And as you get closer, you can see that it does actually look like a halfling. And as she sees you approaching, because you're moving very quick on some animals that aren't known in this area. You see this small little diminutive creature kind of jump on their mule. Their small horse, and start furiously riding away from you. Not in the direction you're going, but more north.
Oh.
How close were they to us at that point?
When you first saw, probably about 10 minutes of your riding time. By the time she noticed you, or this person noticed you and jumped on their small horse, probably half a mile or so away.
All right.
Yeah, there's no catching up to them.
Well, you're moving much faster, and this.
I guess that's true.
So it's very clear to you that if you wanted to catch this person, you could veer off a little bit and kind of meet with them where they're headed. So like you're heading in a straight line, and they were heading straight towards you, and then they kind of turned off to the side. So you could just keep going and pass them, or you could kind of turn off and go to meet where they are.
Okay, so they're not going back as though to try and get to the Eye of the All-Father before us, or something like that.
No, they're heading in the opposite direction, so they're heading towards you.
They just don't want anything to do with
It seems to you like as soon as she noticed you, she didn't want to be in your path. They.
What do we think?
We're on giant platypus that they don't recognize. Of course they're gonna run away.
Yeah, I can't blame them. And thus, a literal stampede chasing after them probably isn't the nicest welcome. I say we just let them go. As curious as I
We aren't doing ourselves any favors if we chase people down.
am. No, no.
Get back here. We're good.
We just want to talk.
We're friends!
Stop
We're
running.
the friggin' folk band!
Oh yeah, that's good press right there.
Yeah.
News bulletin at 5. The
That's
folk
right.
band
Folk
chased
band.
down poor
They chased me
halfling. Poor halfling pilgrim. Oh good lord. Yeah, we're
Okay.
good.
So you're gonna let this person go on their way. All right. Very good.
Yeah, with
All right.
the story to tell everybody once they're back in town. I saw these giant things with folks on the back of them.
And so as you get to the place where they turned off, and you just kind of keep going, and you're watching, you can see that at some point, this person realized you weren't chasing them, and they had stopped, and they're just kind of cautiously watching you pass.
Someday they're gonna like talk to somebody about it and be like, "Oh, the folk band had business, and it's probably them." And then they're gonna be like, "Crap! I could have met the folk band."
Do we notice this person kind of like stop and like watching us?
Yes, yeah. Once you get to the point where they turned off, you can see them that they're now stopped, kind of on their mule, but like watching you go by.
Ma'am is gonna pull her platabel off to the side and dismount and just kind of wave.
And you know, at the distance that you're at, you can kind of see this person like kind of cock their head to the side and like hesitantly like wave back.
I'm just gonna. Did the others kind of stop, or did they all just keep going?
Once I saw that you stopped, I would slow down my
Yeah,
plan.
definitely. Slagos also would halt in response to man stopping. I figured we'd wave on the way back, but if man stops, then Slagos would say it.
How curious are we? Like, do we want to just keep going here? Or, I'm thinking maybe I could send a little note with Bubble, but this really isn't the most important thing right now. I'm just so curious.
I think you're gonna give them a shock. We already gave them quite a shock. They probably just wanted to get on their way. They're probably.
Mm-hmm. Slagos will use thaumaturgy to make his voice very loud and just say, "Wishes for safe travels from the folk band."
And
Yeah.
you see kind of another like kind of head cocking, and then like two little thumbs up and a wave.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna get back on her platypus and start riding again.
Okay, all right.
It's probably freaked them out more that we stopped. If we just drove by, they probably were like, that would be weird, and then just trot down the mountain. Because we are going like full speed up a mountain on animals that they don't recognize.
Yeah, definitely not something you see every day.
They're probably trying to figure out.
creatures.
Yeah, they're probably trying to figure out if they ate a bad mushroom.
And probably still not sure about that.
Yeah, probably still not sure.
Yeah. All right. So you get back on your platypels and continue on. You don't really lose any time. It's just a matter of a few moments. And the rest of the day, the sun drops down. It starts to get a little cold, and you can kind of tell when dusk is coming. and you think to yourselves it's probably a good time to stop and make camp before it's too dark to kind of see what you're doing. So, you didn't get a full day's travel in because you left around 4 p.m. So by the time it gets dark, it's going to be probably around 8 p.m. So you get a solid, I'd say, 4 hours of travel time in approximately before it starts to get dark.
After the casting, so the 4 p.m. was after man was done with the castings.
No, it's a good point. It was more like 4:45. Yeah. So you get about 3.5 hours of travel in. We'll call it 4 for you'll push maybe a little bit farther into dusk, just knowing that. Well, I guess I should ask that question. Do you have an easy way to make camp?
I mean, we have bedrolls and I mean, we've never actually had. I don't think we've ever actually. Do you have like tents or something like that?
I don't think you have a tent.
I
Yeah.
thought I did. I'll double check my
Maybe you
inventory.
do.
I've
Oh, you
cast,
do. Look at that. Nyx has a tent.
I've used Mordenkainen's private sanctum before. It's not like tiny hut or anything, but what's it do? Makes it so we can't be targeted by divination. The barrier of the warded area appears dark and foggy, preventing vision, which I think we've used to like mask our campfire before. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is basically you're creating a spot that people can't see into. They can see that it's there, but they can't see into it, but they could walk into it.
Right. Yeah. Basically, if we went off the path a little bit into the woods, the idea would be that, we're just kind of fading into the shadows in the evening.
Okay. All right.
Which I just need to do some shenanigans with my protective versus spell book to swap its preparation.
Okay. All right. Very good.
Just go.
So, Zwazos, that gives you a solid. Are you keeping track of your tome time?
I mean, in my head, I was thinking 5 hours, 4 hours travel time, the 30 minutes initially, and then the 30, 40 minutes while man was casting. That's what I had in my head.
Yep, 5 hours sounds good. Yep. Okay, so we were at 5 hours. Okay, very good.
And should we put like a day, like should we 5 hours I got on the 20th, and then like on the 21st, we'll see how many hours I got that day.
That's a good idea. Yes. 20th, 5 hours. Okay. All right. Very good. All right. So you have an opportunity to kind of make camp. I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick so you can. If there's anything you want to talk about, whatever, at your campsite, you're welcome to do that. I'll be right back.
I'm not sure what to talk about. Do we have the list of questions that we would ask the eye?
Oh God. Well, we know one would be the location of
The
what's his
king.
name? Yes. And we want to think about how we ask these questions.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be some chicanery.
Right. So it'd be more of like the closest city or the closest landmark to, right? Or the closest.
I don't know. I don't know what the best. Yeah. It's not like we have latitude and longitude that we could ask for in this world.
Right. Like, but it's just like Oh God, we would need like exact location.
Oh, what if we ask like what What 3 locations could we use to triangulate the location of insert giant's name here?
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh, that's a good one. So that we could literally make a triangle and it just starts the triangle.
Well, I think with triangulation, it would be like just finding the center point between the 3 of them.
Oh,
So that
that's
gets us
true.
specific points that can't be like, because if it's like, where is he? The Sword Coast. Like, great, that gives us nothing. But
Yeah,
then
but they
even
could
like,
also give us 3 points like across the globe that covers the entire circle. Couldn't they? Or does it? Or would we have to?
yes. Hmm.
Or am I?
I
Or am I
mean,
thinking too much into it?
I don't know. I think something along those lines.
Of like the 3 cities we can triangulate, or 3 named locations we can triangulate.
Ooh, that's good.
Excuse me. Where's my water?
I feel like I wrote down our questions, but I have to like go back and like look now.
I'll also be right back real quick while Michael's gone.
Okay.
I can still hear though.
Okay. Ooh, I did not. Hecate, there it is. So I found the 3 questions. It was going to be, where is King Hackaton, but make it more specific. Where was
Mhm.
Ebondeath's phylactery, but
That's right.
make it more specific. And then it was going to be Man's Mountain, but now we know.
Right.
So we have an open question that we could ask. So do you want to save it to pinpoint either King Hecatan or Eboneth's location?
Well, I mean, our first question was Hackaton.
Yeah. And so if we don't find the triangulation, whatever that we were gonna try.
I mean, yeah, it could be worth not planning a third question specifically in case we need to re-ask one of our first 2.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think that's a game plan,
yeah.
Do we want to know who's at fault for Queen? What was her name? Mary? No.
Mary. Yep.
Oh, Queen Mary's death? I don't know. Well, if we find King Hecatan, we would know, right?
No, because he didn't know. He thought it
Yeah.
was fishy, if I remember correctly.
Correct. So he went to find the answers. So when you find him, he may or may not have found those answers. You don't know.
Okay.
Assuming you find him, assuming he can be found.
Yes.
So we should wait, right? Use it to find King Hecaton's location or the closest to it, and Ebondeath's phylactery.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Sounds good. Is it time for bed?
Okay, I'm back.
All right, welcome back.
I was listening all the time.
Okay. All right. So, are you doing anything special at your campsite tonight? You just casting your spell, getting in your bedrolls, and going to sleep?
I mean,
So I'm just Ma'am cast this using a 5th level spot to make it extra big. So it's 200 feet long on its longest side, just because.
It's a big space. You get this, and what is it? Does it have any special look to it? Is it just this opaque-ish circle thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you get real close to the edge of the barrier, like many of her barrier spells, you can see kind of just these subtle runes kind of moving matrix style, just kind of floating over the surface.
Sweet. Okay.
that's awesome.
All right. So you've cast your Sanctum. You having a fire? Are you just gonna snuggle up in your bedrolls? What are you doing for a little sleepy time routine?
I mean, I think we have fire, right? I have the Ring of Warmth, but I don't know what everybody else has.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets pretty chilly at night. It definitely gets down into the 30s at night, so it's going to be chilly.
I think one of the benefits of the spell is that we can have this fire without worrying too much about.
Being seen.
Yeah, so I would say fire.
Yeah, for sure.
Fire, take turns doing watch.
Yep. I'll take first.
There are 4 of you, so yeah, that's what you need for a good watch, right? Because it's 8 hours, 2 hours per person.
Yeah.
Okay. Any particular? So go ahead.
Mim will take last watch. Likes to wake up early.
Can I study my tone while I'm on watch?
Yeah, because it's light, right?
Yeah.
You might not be as perceptive with your nose in a book, but you can do it.
Have Amos help you keep watch.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I feel like I've definitely done that with Bubble.
Yeah.
Copying spells into my spell book.
I've been working on because I'm trying to practice all my character voices. So I've been working on this ventriloquist thing where it sounds like Justin whispering, but it's actually me.
I'm sure that's going to come through really well on
the stream.
Whatever this. Yes.
Awesome.
The next critical role.
That's right. I'm sorry if I missed. Who's taking second and third watch? Do you care?
Ma'am said that they
second.
Last.
Yep. Nick stood first. Ma'am said last. Do you want second or third?
I don't care. So second.
Second. All right. Perfect. That's where I put you. All right. Very good. So there are 4 of you. Okay. Very good. Yeah, Nick. So you have your watch. You don't really see anything, hear anything. It is chilly, but you've got your ring. You did attune to it, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you're nice and warm. Like you don't even feel the cold at all. Do you? Yeah. So yeah. So you have your watch. You're a cat. So you from time to time you stroll around, look around, do things, bat at things. You don't see or notice anything. And,
Wonderful.
Someone.
I said wonderful.
Oh, okay. Sorry. And same is true as well. So you spend your time basically with your nose in the book. You get another solid couple of hours in to your thingamajigger. And somewhere I have that. Nope, that's not it. Add 2 more hours. Oops. So it becomes a 7. And nothing happens. Vark has his time. He's bored. He ends up whittling a little beaver out of a piece of wood that he found. And then, ma'am, you have your watch, and you can see out of the thing. Is that right? I guess I should have asked that.
The barrier of the warded area appears dark and foggy, preventing vision through it. So,
Okay, so you all can't see out of it either.
Yeah, I think we would have to kind of step out every now and then to. Okay.
So so I'm just going to assume then that you were all doing that on your watch, just kind of poking your head out, looking, just kind of doing that, listening, doing all that. So you do the same thing, and you start to see dawn approaching, and you do not hear or see anything weird on your watch either. So let's go ahead and rest everybody.
I'm sorry, Nick.
Yep.
Do we know? Remind me where I check and see what's cast into the ring in Amos's ring.
There's another note, and you currently have a 4th and a 1st level bless in there. You did
Ooh,
recharge
we're
it.
good.
Right, so let's see. So call it. So, what time do you all wake up? Like, what's are you all early risers? Or you like to sleep in? Are you 7 a.m. wake uppers? Are you 8 a.m., 6 a.m.? When do you people start to?
I have a feeling that Ma'am would wake us up.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
ma'am's.
yeah, I mean, Ma'am is up from her watch, and I think is probably usually, if not on early watch, is probably the first non-watch person up. She's definitely an early riser.
So 6 a.m. it is. So at the bright, crisp time of 6 a.m., you all start to get shaken, shook awake by Ma'am. And it is there is a light wind, and there's a light rain, and it is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit because now you're elevation here a little bit. So there is a light rain falling, a very light wind. It's feels like it could be fairly miserable with the rain and the cold. It's 50 degrees isn't cold, but it's definitely not a pleasant day. But is there anything you want to do this morning before starting your ritual casting and doing your thing?
Just making sure that I'm attuned, and then we'll take a good look around before we just traipse out.
Is there something specific you're looking for when you look around?
Anything other than us? So, like, yetis, wolves, nature,
Okay, all right,
giants, people.
okay, all right. Um, let's get a perception or investigation. Are you looking around, or are you kind of searching around, investigating?
Good question. Let me look at my abilities real quick.
You see which one I'm better at.
Let's see which one I'm better at. Exactly.
I would guess you're better at perceiving.
Perception.
Yeah, okay.
Perception.
Yeah.
Perceiving. I'm
Perception it is.
looking.
Oops.
Da-da-da-da. Oh, hey, look.
Okay. Yeah. So even through the light rain, you've got great eyesight. You can see for a while. You can see that there are, in your general vicinity, there's a few tracks around. You can see them in the mud. But to your eyes, like I said, the visibility here is pretty wide open. There aren't, other than the river to your south now and the mountains to your north, there's not a whole lot. There aren't a whole lot of trees. There's a few, hills and valleys, but as you look around, you're pretty confident. There's no creatures bigger than a squirrel, within a few miles of you.
Got it. Nix is just gonna, after like doing that whole like cat like on guard little look, like prairie dogging for a second, is just gonna go back to packing up their stuff.
Awesome. Anybody else? Are you moving on?
Yeah, moving on.
All right, moving on. Okay, so I'd say it takes probably about a half hour for you to all get your stuff up and Nix to look around a little bit, and then by the time, well, we'll say 6:20, you get ready to go, and that's when Ma'am starts her chain casting. So at exactly 7 a.m., you ride your platybeladons off into the sunrise, heading a little northeast. All right. So we're going to say it is a light rain. It's a light wind. That rain and the 50 degrees, man, it's just not a pleasant day. Zwazos, you kind of have this. You figured out a way to get your like cloak to hang over you, so that your tome's like not getting wet, and so you're still kind of like reading. Nyx, you are exactly as miserable as a cat is when it's wet. You all see, they're, they're just not happy to be in the rain. You do have winter clothes, so despite the fact that you're not cold, you find that you are wearing your big winter cloak just to keep the rain off you.
Well, I have the winter clothes, and then I also have the cloak of displacement, so I'm just trying to like cover up as
That's
much
right,
as
yeah.
possible.
Vark gives exactly zero shits. He's just soaking wet, just riding like it's a beautiful day. Doesn't even notice that he's soaking wet. He's starting to kind of give off that wet dog kind of smell a little bit when you get too close. And ma'am, of course, as an elephant, like you don't really have hair, so doesn't really bother you all that much.
Just
although the rain's kind of in your
pulls
face.
the hood of Bardo's cloak over.
Yep. And this is the kind of weather that cloak is just made for. I mean, the water's just streaming off it. It's a beautiful cloak. He's probably missing it about now, but so you all, because of the nasty weather, you find that not really coming across much in the way of creatures out and about. Everything seems to be a bit hunkered down today. So you say, let's see. That's about right. So you're all going to make it a solid 100 miles. That'll bring you to about 3 p.m. I will say you stop about an hour for lunch. Assuming anybody has food.
Yeah, we've all got rations on us. I mean, I know I do.
Rations.
Okay. Yep. All right. So you're going to stop for lunch here, and dinner last night, I guess. So everyone will need to tick off 2 rations to sustain yourselves for yesterday and today. So Zwazos, you're going to get a solid 8 hours of tome time. Well, let's see. So you get your 8 hours of travel in, and it's really only about 4:00 p.m. It's not the most pleasant way to travel. You're all kind of, doing this in your saddles, not really, feeling great about sitting for another while. But you know that you have about 4 hours of light left. You can choose to continue on, and you'll each roll for exhaustion for every hour beyond these 8 hours traveled.
Well, I mean, I guess the difference maker is, would continuing on be the difference between making it there in one more day or not?
Let's
So,
see.
where are we on the map?
Yeah, so you made it to about here on the map where my circle is. So you, based on your idea of where this is and what Harshnag told you, you know that you're probably going to have to travel another 40 or 50 miles before you catch the turn, which will be about another 40 miles.
And did you confirm, Nick, that after the turn, that's not terrain that is befitting the platabels? Are we gonna have to do that on foot?
From what Harshnag told you, and who was the other person you talked to? Oh, what's his name? Bingham or whatever. He also said that there's the valley kind of, there is a in between that you can get right to the temple. It's not like the platabels can go there. It's not difficult terrain.
So it sounds to me like we could, if we stopped now and just picked back up again in the morning, we could make it there with a day's travel. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah. Yes. From what you understand of the path, it seems like you probably, if you just stopped now, went to sleep, did your whatever, and then woke up, you probably arrived there somewhere around 3 or 4 o'clock tomorrow.
I mean, then I think it makes sense to avoid risking exhaustion.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay.
All right. So you make your little camp here, in the Valley of Kedron. Anything you all want to do while you're hanging out here? I know Zwazos is probably going to keep his nose in the tome, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. As long as there's light.
Yep.
Mama's gonna start doing some bookwork of her own. It's been a little while since she's copied a new book and new spell into her book, so she's gonna get started on one.
I'll say total for the days, Wazos, you're going to get about 12 hours of tome time between riding and hanging out and your watch time tonight.
Well, I mean, you said it's 3 p.m. When does the sun go down?
You arrived there around 4 p.m.
Okay.
And the sun goes down around 8 o'clock. And you also have, you've got some stuff to do, set up, eat.
Oh, that's right. And we stop for lunch and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. I assume same plan as the night before. Have a little fire inside a giant dome. Same.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let's do this. Okay. Thing with the thing. Right. Valley. Stop it. Just adding calendar notes. All right. So the night goes pretty much uneventful. The light rain continues for most of the night. You get a good feeling that the rain probably kept things quiet. It was definitely a cold night. You can feel the elevation difference. There's a solid 20 to 30 degree change as you make your way north into the mountains. And it's starting to get pretty chilly here. So there is a strong wind today, and you can feel it. It's like you can just feel the cold coming down the valley. And this is really kind of blustery weather. It's a strong wind. Today there is a heavy rain, and it's about 30 degrees Fahrenheit. So there's places here and there where you start to get these really big, almost can't even call it rain, more of a slush that starts falling from the sky. And it is a nasty, miserable, cold day. Zwazos, this strong wind really feels like it would be a challenge to fly in as well. And you know that you could probably get into the sky, but the wind is probably going to push you back down pretty quickly. You probably wouldn't be able to maintain flight in wind this strong. So, I assume the same. Ma'am will wake everyone up somewhere around 6 p.m. Everyone gets their stuff together. Start your casting so that you leave campsite at 7 a.m. Is that right again?
I don't see any reason.
Okay. And as you're making your way north, you can feel the temperature is dropping. It's getting colder and colder as you make your way north. Let's see, about 50 miles in, which would be roughly 4 hours, so somewhere around 11 a.m., you see off to your left what looks like kind of a dip. So the mountains kind of come in, but you see it's a valley that kind of goes down, but then it starts to go back up again. But it does definitely look like. Okay, cool. I just got that message. It does definitely look like it's a kind of a traveled path, and it's wide. So you get the idea that this is probably your turn off, as it will. You can see that the valley continues up, and it looks like it goes up towards some mountains. But towards your left, you figure is definitely where you want to go. At this point, it is solidly snowing. The rain has ceased, and it is 100% snowing. With the strong wind and the heavy snowfall, visibility is definitely down. And you can see that the ground is now pretty well covered in snow. You can see your leaving tracks behind you. Your visibility is maybe 100, 200 feet before everything just starts to get lost in the snow itself. But you feel like you've got a pretty good idea of where you're going. Harshnag did kind of say that this, kind of leads right to the temple. So your fingers are crossed, and you are heading down into this little valley dip as you make your way towards where you're assuming the Eye of the Allfather will be. And let's see, what is that? 40 miles. So that's about. So I would say at this turn, it's about 11 a.m. It's a good time to stop and kind of get lunch and kind of shake yourselves out. Does anybody want to say anything?
Can this?
I don't know why I'm asking.
Well, no, actually, okay, this hour it can be used for a short rest. Do I understand that correctly?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. In that case, I'd like to through whatever process mechanically would be required, have Amos expel the 4th level bless out of the ring, and then use my pack magic slots to cast 2 2nd level blesses into.
Okay.
Because I mean, there's only 4 of us, so I only need a 2nd level to cover everything.
I see. Gotcha. 2nd level.
Can I actually, Nick? Could I make that a 2nd level bless and a shatter instead?
Yep. Okay. And your meta magic, pack magic, that covers that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I've got 2 pack magic slots. They're both 2nd level, so
okay. Yep.
That's
Just making
4th
sure.
level.
Okay.
Yep.
Very good. All right. So you do your thing. You've got a 2nd level bless, a 2nd level shatter, and a 1st level bless.
Love it.
Right. Okay. All right. And you're all blessed for, what is it, 10 minutes? I don't know. So if there's anything you want to do in that.
Yeah, sure, great. Yeah, we're all blessed anyway, just in case we need to.
In that blessed time.
It's just 1 minute, so.
You have a truly blessed lunch. It's delicious. So, yep. So you have your lunch. You do your thing. It's been an hour. And where's my calendar? It's going to take you about 3 hours. So afternoon, you travel about 3 hours. Zvazos has given you 7 more hours with the book. And after those 3 hours, you kind of, as you make a turn around like another, the cliff walls kind of are on both sides, and it's kind of leading you wherever it happens to go. And as you make a turn and you come around, you can still see it's strong. It's still near blizzard conditions at this point, but as you kind of make the turn, there's this giant, just like cliff edge in front of you, and you can see all the snow's kind of blowing above it to the point that it kind of opens up the entire area in front of it where the snow is blowing over it, and it kind of creates this area where there isn't as much blowing snow. And what you see in front of you is this amazing just entrance into what looks like the side of a mountain that the path kind of leads up to. And there are gigantic, like 60 to 80 foot carved giants in place of pillars holding up a giant ceiling as you kind of look into and see two gigantic double doors leading into the mountain in front of you. And
I love it.
believe you have made it to the Eye of the Allfather.
Nyx is just looking up at the giants. Talk about presentation.
Yeah, I think this might be the place.
Okay, do we have our
And
questions? Do we know what we're doing?
interestingly enough, as you kind of make this turn and you see this, it kind of, it fills your vision at first. It's the first thing you see. It's hard to not see. And as you're kind of looking at it, just amazed at the architectural and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 giants that are holding up this kind of ceiling leading into. There's a bit of movement off to your left that catches your attention. And as you all kind of turn that way, you see something that I don't believe any of you have ever seen before. Parked on the ground, what looks like almost like a giant sleigh with a balloon tied to the top.
What
An airship?
world is that?
And
I had to step away to grab food, so I'm not.
every once in a while, you see these giant flames come out of this just thing in the center and blow up into what looks like some of a giant balloon.
It totally is. Okay. Nyx doesn't know what that is, right? But who? That's a sled, right? How did they get it up here?
I don't know. Black magic fuckery.
Ma'am gets off her platabel. How far away is it?
I would say it's about 100 feet from you at this point.
Ma'am's gonna start walking up to it.
So I also would like to pair the action of instructing Amos. I think this is how we mechanically work out. Prepare the action of instructing Amos to cast Bless.
Okay. You're going
like,
to.
So if trouble rears its head.
Oh, okay. So that brings me to a good point. Apparently, holding an action is only available during combat. You cannot hold an action outside of combat. Otherwise, everyone would hold an action at every moment of every day in case something bad happened, right?
No, that makes sense to have it explained like that. So never mind.
Yep. So until combat starts, you can't hold an action.
Got it.
Okay. Let's see. I think this is okay to show you.
I like being shown things.
Maybe. Oh, I don't have something for that yet. Do I? Maybe I do. Hang on. Sorry. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. Not sure. No, I didn't. Okay. All right. Yeah. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. Look at that. Okay. Alright. Okay. That looks fine. Apparently I didn't have that all prepared. So yeah. So I'm gonna put this, I guess, here. It's gonna be bigger than that. I don't even really know how big it is. Okay, alright. So yeah, let's say it's about sure that big. We will everybody on Michigan's now.
I just got back to my computer and I just see this thing, and it totally is an airship.
Alright. So maybe. Alright, we're gonna try this.
What are we trying?
Alright. So this is kind of what you see here. So there's this is it 40? Yeah, we'll go with that. So there's this 40-foot wide naturally formed stone causeway leading into what you assume is the entrance of the Eye of the Allfather. There are sheer cliffs plunging hundreds of feet on both sides, and this causeway that you're in is covered with this newly fallen snow. And you can see off to the left this giant, the G, I guess, stands for gondola, but it's this big sleigh-looking ship. And the causeway that you're on ends before this. There's a giant stone dome carved from the mountainsides, and these six. They look like they're probably 40-foot tall. Stone pillars carved to look like giants, like holding the ceiling up. From north to south, you can see that. So that each of the pillars, the north one looks like a hill giant, like holding a rock above its head. The next one down looks like a frost giant, with its axe kind of holding the ceiling up. The third one down looks like a cloud giant, and they look to be flying and holding the ceiling up. The fourth one looks to be a storm giant who's holding a lightning bolt. The fifth one looks like a stone giant who's like climbing up the pillar to hold the ceiling. And then a fire giant who's holding the ceiling up and has two chains that look like they're have a couple chained dwarves at his feet. And then at the very back of this ceilinged off area is a 40-foot wide, 40-foot high hallway that leads into the mountain, with two giant double doors that look to be at least halfway open.
Outward?
They're open inward, actually.
What was that first giant?
The first one was a hill giant.
Thank you. Okay.
We should go inside, right?
As we go by this sled-looking thing.
Ma'am's walking right up to it.
Cool. Yep. Nope. I'm there.
Okay. So are you stealthily walking up to it? Or are you? Nope. You're just okay. So you.
If Ma'am's not stealthing, I'm not either.
This thing's got to be bigger than. I don't know. We're gonna go with something like that. I don't know. Big enough. It's big enough. I'll work on a token later. All right, so you're kind of making your way up to it. At some point, you see a head kind of like pop over the railing, and you see what looks kind of like a dirty human, and it as you kind of look closer, you see that it doesn't look like it's dirt. It just looks like the person's just wearing like raggedy clothing and whatever it is. And as they kind of peek over and like you kind of lock eyes with this person, it looks like a human woman. Their eyes get all big, and you hear them shout down, "Oh, folk band, you're finally here! Hi!
Oh,
Oh dear.
They're here!
You're-
They're here! They're finally here!
oh,
Claw said you'd be
Oh.
coming!
you're
Grog?
the
Wait, what?
druids.
Yes!
They're the druids.
And you see that you see the druid kind of do this like, what do you think? Claw said you might be able to use this.
This is
Yeah, this
for
is
us.
Yeah,
This is for us.
of course.
What?
I don't know if it's gonna hold up to
You
these
need to tell
winds.
me how this works. Ma'am just like starts like climbing up and
And as you start climbing up, they're like, oh, sorry. And she like grabs this like rope ladder and just like throws it. And it hits you on like the shoulder as it like falls down. And you're already halfway up at that point.
keep climbing.
And so you
Nyx.
get.
Nyx is just like their jaws on the ground and just slowly starts climbing up the ladder.
Oh, I need to turn that off. There you go. And so as you kind of climb up, you climb up into this kind of upper deck, and a couple things are immediately apparent to you. Number one, there is a ballista both at the front and at the back that look like they shoot modified harpoons. There is a wheel like you would see on a ship, like a ship's wheel. And then in the center, there's this contraption. And again, every few minutes or so, you see this burst of flame come up and shoot air into this kind of cloth-looking balloon up above. And there are a number of friendly peoples. Come on. Oh.
Can I make like I don't know, an investigation or some kind of check just to see like if ma'am kind of is able to understand the basic mechanics of this kind of just from like looking over it?
So you've seen ships before? Like this definitely looks like the layout exactly what you would expect from like a ship that rides on water. Like there's the ship, there's the wheel that obviously controls direction, and next to the wheel there's like this lever that looks like it goes forward or backwards. And one of the druids, and I apologize, I don't have names for these druids yet. One of the druids kind of like sees obviously that you're kind of interested here. Come on, there we go. Let's get you on the deck, shall we? Let's get you on the deck. There we go. So we've got you on the deck. I'm assuming everybody's interested, so everyone's gonna come jump on the deck here.
Zargos would be very concerned about this contraption's ability. I mean, I'm just realizing I'm not 100% sure anybody's actually said that the purpose of this thing is to travel through the air. Like, do we understand that based on context?
I would at this point I would say yes. So you're all obviously very interested in what this is, and so that the first druid that spoke to you was like, yeah, this is so. Claw had some crazy cultist weirdos show up at her place, talking about crazy cultist shit. But they had this really cool airship they flew in on, and so she ate them and decided that maybe you guys could use an airship. So so we flew it all the way up here. So it's pretty easy to kind of run, and she kind of brings you over and she says, the wheel will help you like turn, back and forth and thing. And then this lever makes you go either up or down. And if you just leave it where it is, it'll just kind of hover in place. So you can kind of set it down and then leave it to hover. The whole thing, it runs off of a fire elemental and a wind elemental. They're kind of trapped down below. Don't let them out, or it won't work anymore. But so they're, not the coolest thing in the world. But we also sometimes we could take turns if we really wanted to. We could change into elementals if we wanted to and do that whole thing. But it's much easier to just have a couple elementals here. They don't mind so much. They kind of like being on this plane. And we swap them out. We have a couple friends, so every 10 day or so we swap them out. So it's not like they're our slaves. You know what I mean? So it's not like they're not. It's cool. It's cool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It can go, it can go pretty high. Although if you get too high up in the air, it gets hard to breathe. I'm not really sure what that's all about. But if you go too high in the air, it gets too hard to breathe.
How did you get this thing up here through the winds?
Moves. What's that?
How did you get this thing up here through the winds?
I still didn't hear that.
I was just curious how they were able to pilot this thing up into the mountain through the wind. Like you mentioned, the wind.
Yeah, I mean, if the wind's blowing straight at you, we don't move as fast. But with a wind elemental kind of pushing, like we get some pretty good steam. Plus, sometimes we can go above the winds. Sometimes we go below the winds. With a really strong headwind like there was today. It's a good thing we were sheltered in here. We've actually been sitting here for a day waiting for you. We thought you were going to be here a couple days sooner than you were, but it's cool. It's all right. We got stocks of food and water here as well. And there's a few things that the ballistas are really cool too. They do have a limited amount of ammunition, but you can get pikes and spears and stuff that can kind of be used as well. You can get those at any shop or whatever. But we do have a good stockpile of them here. So. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of here to show you guys around until you, if you learn how to use it, you can drop us off somewhere. Otherwise, we're kind of excited to hang out with the friggin' folk band. Like this is kind of cool.
How fast does it go?
That is an excellent question for you to ask, and answer for which I'm sure I should have had prepared. But. I think it goes something miles per hour.
Well, it's very fast.
Hang on, I gotta find an answer here.
This is great. This is incredible.
Beats the days when we traveled with a horse and cart.
Yep. Let's see. I know it's pretty fast. Okay. Wow, that's really ridiculous. Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember how excited we were to have our own folk band, cart, and horses?
I do remember. We left Neverwinter with it. We have our own carriage? Right. Oh my god, how far we've come.
Yes, and then we got our boat, and then we got teleportation circles, and now...
I need a D4 from somebody.
I nominate Justin.
Oh?
Yeah. Well, you're the one who hasn't gotten to roll one.
Okay.
All right. Higher is better. Higher is faster.
There it is.
Look at that. Nice one. Your airship travels at 50 miles an hour. This thing moves.
Holy balls, that's so fast.
God Yeah.
That's 5 times faster than the platabeladons.
Oh my lord. We're gonna be cooking up in the air.
Can we say that ma'am is like looking at some of the like little gears and things and goes, wait, I think if you just and like touches the little thing.
And you hear like a gah, 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 gah sound going off. And then one of them comes up, she's like, oh, don't touch that. And she kind of like wiggles it back into place. And it stops making that noise.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I'll keep my. But what about
why don't I drive for a while,
okay,
and then when you get
okay.
the hang of it, you can take over.
Oh, we're not driving yet. We still have to go in, and then Nick points to the All Father Eye.
And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We did wonder why you wanted to meet all the way out here, but I guess that makes more sense. What is this place?
The Eye of the All Father. I guess it's an oracle.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, apparently it's like some shard of the giant god, the All Father, or something.
We're gonna ask it about some stuff.
Okay. And as part of the tour, they would show you the lower deck also.
It's a noble mansion. It's a new folk band mansion. Only noble.
We're gonna have to highly.
We're gonna be able to travel during long rests.
We're gonna have to modify the mansion not only to have like a satellite connection, like being able to talk to each other through long distances, but also need like a helipad now.
I mean, the mansion's not there anymore, is it?
I think the mansion is
the
there.
one in Lyland was destroyed.
But there was the mansion in the woods.
Folk band satellite.
That was the satellite location.
Satellite ranch. Yeah, you haven't been to the mansion in a very long time.
A very long time. Oh my god, we could get there now.
You remember where it is?
I mean, I don't know where it is. We must have it marked on a map somewhere. It was our base of operations. It was our base of operations for a whole whopping 7 sessions.
That's a really long time.
And we've been there as many as 3 times.
That's right.
That was. We thought that was such a good place because it was like right next to Phandalin, and we could get to Lyland pretty quickly, and it was also like in the woods.
It was like vaguely secluded, pumpkins being naturally outside.
You all were so cute back then.
It was so cute. And then we completely abandoned that place and left Drazit to it for a while, and then...
Oh, that's right. Drazit was living there alone for a while. Forgot about that.
I think Drazit was paid by us to make the portal, right? So that we could fast travel there eventually.
Yeah, I brought up the idea of having Drazit like learn teleportation circle just so we could cast it every day for a year.
Yeah.
And then I remember how much it would cost. Or should realize, I should say.
So that didn't happen. We don't have a teleportation circle, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Look, I'm sorry, but I have to lodge a formal complaint here. There are only 4 rooms in this below deck, and that's no.
There's 5. There's 5.
There are.
I mean, one of them's
over the 3rd floor. There are more downstairs. There are more stairs going downward.
I mean, there's only 4 of you right now.
And then we can bunk up.
Yeah. I know. I was trying to do a bit of like, what? You only gave us an airship with 4 rooms in it? Bullshit.
Only 4, right? Where's our air mansion?
Wait a minute. You mean I'm gonna have to go the next 2 sessions with only a +6 charisma modifier? Bullshit.
I don't even see a kitchen in there. What the hell? No kitchenette? What kind of an RV is this?
Okay, so we had to make some sacrifices to be able to get the fastest one, okay? But
That's right, this was the fastest one.
The fastest one that we could get our hands on. So, bunking up and dealing with like a kitchenette rather than a full blown kitchen and then like smaller storage space is still good. Rents
Right.
are super high. Rents are super high for airships right now.
So I'm like, Nick, do I understand right that like we could take this thing up into the air and then like if we did need to, we could just let it hover somewhere in the air and chill out there indefinitely?
Yes.
Okay, but the thing is, we would have to be able to get back up there. You can
Yeah.
get back up there.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that like,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that we could like put it up in the air and then like do whatever the fuck we want. Like we like in my head I was thinking we could like long rest on it, but
Yeah.
then I realized a few minutes later that we could
You
long
also
rest.
have to, right. It does have hit points, so the structure itself can be damaged, but the balloon can also be damaged. And if the balloon takes enough damage, it falls from the sky. And depending on how high in the sky you are, Zwazos doesn't necessarily have to worry about fall damage, but everyone else would. If you're sleeping up in the thing and a dragon comes by and pops your balloon, you're probably all going to die.
So, oh no, wait, never mind. I'm just
That's a way
realizing
to wake up.
that
Holy shit.
even though this is a structure, it's still, just because it's mobile doesn't free Glyph of Warding from its immobile. Because I was thinking one could cast a Glyph of Warding somewhere on it. So like if it started to fall, somebody could touch it and get fly. But obviously that wouldn't work because if it moves, Glyph of Warding dispels.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm sure we could just keep it out of harm's way for the most part. Just use it for traveling. Not,
Yeah, I mean, it's up. Yeah, there's.
That's why I talked about. That's why I talked about a helipad or storage. We're gonna have to heavily modify all of our locations now.
Nick, just out of the crazy idea, would you allow for a teleportation circle to be created on the surface of the airship?
If you cast it every day for a year.
Okay, so that could be an option. We could use that as a means to get like to it if we needed to book out of somewhere real fast.
Yeah.
But didn't want to have it close by when we.
But I mean, if you've got a 10-foot circle, you can cast a teleportation circle out of there anytime. Like that's fine.
But that would take 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not.
Yeah, and
like
you'd
we're
have to
gonna
not be moving. Right.
I assume the size of this object is gargantuan.
Yes. Yeah, I'll have to figure out the exact dimensions, but it looks like
it's 20 feet wide.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40, like 50 feet long, 20 feet wide. 5, 10, about 15 feet to the top deck. Yeah. Ish. Is that right?
I mean, I am very, very satisfyingly stoked.
I'm so happy. I am so happy.
Great.
As soon as you were describing it, I was like, "Are we getting an airship?"
I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, an airship!" I never thought that we'd like walk away with it.
Claugyliamatar said she had a gift for you.
Yes,
she did say that, didn't she?
She did.
She ate those people, though.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? They had it coming, probably.
Lawful evil, or whatever.
I mean, she's a green dragon.
She is a green dragon. That is a gentle reminder. that is as gentle as a reminder as we're gonna get that she eats other people to give us a gift.
Oh, nah, bones.
I know, I know. We should ask. That was what we were supposed to ask her, wasn't it? When she's not here. All right, all right. We need to get into this giant place.
Yeah, let's totally do that.
All right. So you're heading into the. You're heading in.
Well, what time is it? Wait, hang on. Am I muted? No, I'm
Yeah.
not. Okay. What
It's only
time
1
is it?
o'clock.
It's only one.
I
Oh
mean,
no, not.
it's what? Sorry. It's 1 o'clock our time. It is. I would say after your tour of the airship, it's about 3:30 p.m.
Oh. Do we want to see how far we can get in there? Or
I mean, yeah.
okay. Okay, if everybody's on board of getting into the you know what I'm talking about. Into the giant, into the out, the into the fuck it.
Into the place.
Into the place.
All right.
The druids have like water and food, and that's a safe place for them right now is to be in the airship, right? They're all
Yeah, I mean,
good.
they've been waiting there for
A day.
a day and a
Yeah.
half already. So, and like they said, they have food and water stores inside the ship. So
Alright, as long as they're
they're
good.
like,
Okay.
good. We'll wait here.
Stay
If we see
warm.
trouble, we'll fly away.
Good. Yes, please do
So if
that.
we're not here, it probably means there was trouble.
Yeah.
Is it? So is this? Do I understand by this barrier, Nick, that this is dim light inside the hallway?
So there's very dim light into the hallway, but like as you look inside, there's no light inside. Just the light that can get in from outside. It is dark inside the temple.
Well, I don't have a sun sword,
Because I have.
so
I can see with mine, but I think I have a torch.
does man know light?
No, but I'm pretty sure I have a torch.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have a free hand for a torch. I guess I do.
I've got a trunk and a free hand.
Oh, you're not. That's right. You're not using the sun sword. That's right.
At least I'm no longer attuned to it. Well, at least I'm not currently.
Right. It doesn't mean you can't be. So you have torches. Is that right?
Yeah. Ma'am will hold her torch by her trunk.
So go. Is anyone else carrying their own torch?
I thought I was. I don't know if I.
I don't
thought I
know.
had one.
I'll carry a torch. So I will stow the rod of absorption and have a torch in hand.
And you have torches, right? Yes.
I thought I did.
Ma'am's got 10, so if somebody else needs one.
I only have the one. That's strange.
Share.
And they burn for 1 hour. Do I see? Nyx also has one torch. Okay, so you have 12 torches between the three of you. All right. Nyx, did you say you're lighting a torch also?
I don't. I mean, Nyx has dark vision, so
Yeah, I have dark vision. I'm good. I didn't know if. I think I'm good as long as I stay close to everybody.
All right. I am going to. Well, I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick, and then I'm gonna come back. I'll tell you what you're seeing. And make your way into the temple. All right.
Are we good? Oh, we're still waiting on Michael.
Nope, I'm here.
Okay.
All right, we are back. Okay. So, you. Let's see here. All right. So. All right. So yeah. So you can kind of, I believe you can kind of see this as a long hallway, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a tiny bit. Yep. So you can see that this is an extremely long hallway, and it's like this place is massive. It's about 40 feet wide. The ceilings look like they're also about 40 feet tall. And as you kind of look through, you can see that the snow has made its way slightly into the temple, probably about 20 to 30 feet, just with the way the winds blow. But beyond that, you can see that it's mostly just stone floors and stone walls. And I am going to unlock tokens for the moment. I would caution against running your token too far ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, I think that we'd probably want to just keep a pretty steady pace close together.
Yeah.
Is just in case, Nick, is Bark with us mechanically?
Oh man, I hate running on. Yes. Yes,
Okay.
he is there with you. That's a good question. Where'd you go, Bark? Oh, he's hanging out with the druids. He's like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna hang out with the druids. No, you're not, Bark. Okay. Better get
There might be something to kill in there.
There better be something in here for me to kill. That's all I gotta say. And to that point, the snow's pretty fresh. Like, you've watched the snow fall, so like you can see that there are no tracks in the snow, but you also know that means that nothing has walked here in the last 30 minutes to an hour. But you have no idea if there's anything inside this temple. And you don't have Harshnag here. But the doors are open.
Yeah. I say we.
Yeah, I think we'll just cautiously make our way inside, sticking close together.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell Amos to,
Yeah.
stay like
I mean,
20 feet back.
Cool. I can see farther because of my dark vision, so maybe I can stealth like 10 feet ahead of everybody. Not too far ahead, right? But just like on the edge of your guys' light, just to see.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not running ahead. I'm not running ahead because everybody was like, "Don't run ahead." So, like, I can see up to like here. So, I don't know what everybody else sees.
So
Yeah, you see it here.
okay. So you Nix, as you get a little farther in there, you're kind of looking around, and then as you kind of look up, the torchlight really kind of stops right at the ceiling. But Nix, you can see a little bit farther, and you start to see that let's see, where is it? It's right here. Whoops. Okay, I can't draw rectangles apparently. So let me just kind of draw here. You can see that right here and right here. There are gaps in the ceiling, and as you kind of like notice it and look at it, you can see that it looks like the ceiling here are actually giant suspended blocks that are ever so slightly moving.
Oh, I turn back. I don't walk back. I stay there. But I just turn back and just go. So, I need everybody to be careful while we're walking through, because up above us, there's nothing, right? There is nothing. There's just like moving blocks.
No, it's like, so there's ceiling. So about 40 feet above you, there is ceiling. But what you see is in those two sections, you see that there are gaps in the ceiling in a circle, and that in that gap there's this giant, what looks like a stone block, just hanging there, looking like ceiling.
And it looks
Trap.
it's a trap. It looks like a trap. Does it look like a trap?
I mean, I hope you're remembering it.
I mean, it looks like, yeah. I mean,
A false ceiling.
right. Like, I mean,
So I
Yeah.
try to explain in the best way that I can to everybody. So like right above me, like you're right on the edge, ma'am. There is a section of ceiling that's not really.
and if you lift your torch up a little bit, you can start to see that the light then kind of illuminates those gaps as well, and you can see that the ceiling in those places does kind of shift, like it's,
Like the ceiling's breathing?
something like that. What's that?
Like the ceiling is breathing?
No, like in those two sections, there's giant blocks being held by chains instead of an actual ceiling.
Ah.
That could potentially drop down onto us. Yes.
Yes, that.
So,
Oh.
what do we do?
See, now I don't love that.
I mean, I don't love that Nix is underneath one.
Nix is like being real stealthy right now, and is kind of just like keeping an eye up now.
Does it look like, is there hey, Nix, can you see, does it look like there's space if we were to go over the blocks?
Nyx looks at it, and they can't see. They can, their vision is pretty good, but because those gaps are so small, they're not. They can see there's at least 5 to 10 feet of stone, but they can't see all the way to the top, however big it might be.
Oh, this is bad. This is a bad idea. This is no. Oh, hang on.
Wait. I got a thought.
I could walk up walls. Do you want me to walk up there?
I mean, I was just gonna. How tall are the ceilings, Nick?
40 feet to the ceiling.
So I can get up there.
That illuminate anything?
What's that?
Like, is that no pun intended? I just flew upwards.
Yep.
So do I notice anything pertinent? Like, do I see the tops of these hanging blocks, or what might be holding them up, or if there's a mechanism attached to them? Or...
So you get all the way to the top there, and you're kind of holding your torch to get a look into the crack. And again, I mean, the crack is, it's maybe an inch or two wide, and you can see probably about 20 to 30 feet of stone on both sides, but you can't see all the way to the top. So it's at least, this block is at least 30 feet up. And there's, unless somebody wants to change into a mouse, there's not enough room to try to get up into that crack.
Oh, are these like the gates that got lifted up? Is that what it kind of looks like?
Portcullis?
No, it's definitely not a portcullis. So to you, it looks like it's supposed to look like ceiling, but could be dropped on. Like it looks like a trap or a defense mechanism or something like
That's
that.
what I was kind of thinking of. Like if somebody forced their way, they could just drop these, right?
Yeah, if there's some way to, yeah.
Is there any evidence of a triggering mechanism on the floor or on the walls or anything?
Do you want to investigate such a thing?
I would absolutely like to do that.
Maybe, can Nix maybe get out from underneath one of them?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. I want to be on the side with everybody else, so I'm just gonna go hug ma'am.
Okay. So are you going to move into the hall to look for said mechanisms, or are you staying where you are and just look?
Yeah, no, I want to not go underneath them, but just like look in the area underneath them and on the walls to see if there's anything that looks like it, a tripwire or a pressure plate or something.
Is that
Okay.
perception? Can I help with perception?
Because you're standing where you are looking, it will be perception.
Okay.
And I think I could do the help action, so you could do advantage of that.
I mean,
There are three of you. I assume all three of you are, or I guess there's four of Arcs there too. Who all wants to?
Yeah, like check things out.
Yeah, exactly. Like who all wants to look?
So do you want help, or do you want me to do my own?
Yeah, do your own, because I mean, your modifiers. My perception modifier is 0.
I have 8. So
Is anybody else? Is anybody else proficient that wants to give Nyx help?
Maybe?
Yeah. I am.
Oh.
Cool.
Perception.
So I have
Okay.
advantage perception. Right?
All right. So you have advantage. So I mean, you might as well. Zwazos and Vark will also look. You might as well. Right.
Yeah.
Bubble will also look.
Okay.
If that's...
I mean, I guess Amos too, but probably
yeah,
not
I mean,
necessary.
it might as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Vark too. Vark got a 25 also.
Wow.
He's a
I got a
pretty
15.
perceptive fellow.
That's the best
Barking
perception
man.
check I've ever made in Zwazos' entire life.
All right, yeah. So Nyx and Vark both. You're both. From where you are, you're both looking intently. I think Vark has dark vision also. No, he doesn't. No, that's interesting.
My vision goes to dim vision about here. Just FYI.
Okay.
But what about Amos? Amos has fucking devil sight or some shit like that.
He should, right?
Oh.
Does he have dark vision? He has dark vision to 120 feet. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I mean, Nyx and Vark, you both have, you can see pretty well here. What you're both kind of seeing is there are some scrape marks on the wall over here that kind of make you think like maybe this one's been triggered and reset at some point. There's moss and lichen growing in the scratches, so it feels like it's been a long time if it did happen the way you're thinking. But looking at the area that you can see, you don't see any type of triggering mechanism. The walls and floors are, they're really smooth. There's no lever type things. Doesn't look like the floor has any, pressure plates or anything like that you can see from here.
Well, shit.
Vark turns and looks at you guys. I think it's safe. And just starts walking forward.
Oh shit.
Okay. And then Nyx is gonna go up with Bark.
I mean,
And
despite
Nyx, you get up to him and he looks at you and you see there is like a little trickle of sweat going down his. He's like, it's cool, it's fine.
he just had to look cool. Despite the fact that I'm like 1/8 of Vark's weight, Zwazos is gonna go across, but just via the air and not touch the ground.
Okay.
Or the walls.
Kind of hovering, like your toes, just kind of dancing along the ground. Okay.
I would like to say I can kind of see further, but it's not loading in yet. It's being really weird about light right
how
now.
much you can see.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I think it just moved to here, and then everything else is dim or dark.
Gotcha. Okay.
Bubble is fluttering just on the other side of the big block, looking very nervous, looking up, looking down, looking up, looking down, and then just flies across to us.
Oh, poor Bubble.
Okay.
We love Bubble.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Alright.
so without spending too much time looking, what you do see obviously is you can see the green outline. You can see it. Look, this block looks exactly like the one in front of it. But right about here, and the same on the other side here, you can see what look like ledges on each side starting, and you can also see that it looks like the ceiling gets a little bit higher there as well.
I mean,
Nyx looks like left, right, at everybody, and then sees Vark is moving forward and is just gonna go and then stops over here.
All right.
Woo, lordy. Okay.
So you can see that this hallway, this opens up, and the ceiling looks like it's probably, from what you can see, Nyx, the ceiling looks like it's probably about 60 feet high in this part, sloping downwards towards the area that you just came out of to 40 feet. Overlooking the hall on either side are 20-foot high ledges that don't have any type of like railing or like stoppage. It just kind of goes up and to a 20-foot. And yeah, that's what you can see from there.
Zvazos is going to just climb up, and as if to see if there's anything like the what's to these ledges, if there's anything on them, if there's, whatever.
Okay. So yeah, as you kind of get above that 20 feet, you can see that the ledges have kind of niches. So like on either side there's walls as well, but it's almost like there's columns, and each of the columns, it's hard to describe. Each of the columns has a little nook inside it, has a little niche inside it, and it looks like there's something that goes back a little bit farther on each side.
Like a doorway?
So let's see.
Like
So I'm gonna
something
check
could be
second.
coming out of them,
Like a shell?
like
Sorry,
a
man.
blade.
Almost like a little indentation, like just a little niche carved in it, like that. Like, and it's maybe, I mean, to you, it's pretty good size. Like, Amos or Bubble could crawl into the niche, but like Nyx would have a hard time fitting in how big it is.
Okay. So it's just like a little slit, right?
Yeah, and
Oh,
as you kind of get, well, I mean, Zvazos is the only one above 20 feet, so he's really the only one that can see. As you get closer, it looks like there's like an iron sconce inside the niche.
like a key?
No, like a sconce that would hold like a torch or a lantern, or
But there's no torch in it currently.
there isn't, no. And the niche itself doesn't look burned in any way, like you would expect to see like char and like blackening. But everything here, once you get this far in, like all the surfaces here are like covered in a thin layer of frost. Like a little bit of humidity can get in here, but other than that, there's no snow or anything.
Oh god, I really want to stealth forward. I really want to stealth forward to see what we could see. Is it just look like a long hallway right now? Or
It does. And how far can you
hang on, let me look at my
see?
actual
Is
chart.
it?
I think it's hang on.
But like on the map, like you can see to about here, right? Or is it farther?
Yeah. That gets into like dim. I can see 60 feet, and then
Yeah. Then yeah, it still just looks like a long hallway. To you, it looks like a long hallway, but you know that 20 feet up on either side there's a ledge, and the ledge is like 20 feet wide. Nick
I just,
Duazos can see that.
oh, Jesus. I just, I look back at like Mam and everybody. Do I dare crawl up there, or Swazo, can you see okay up there?
I can see. I'm not really sure what to make of anything, but
If you fly onto the ledge, Duazos, I think you'll be able to actually see
okay.
what's beyond it. Can you know about that there?
Oh, there's a hallway up here.
So this is like these are where the sconces are, and then these are like passages through to like whatever's behind there.
Oh, there's even more. Up, but we have to get up.
Yep.
Oh, so should we crawl up, or should we see if there's like a staircase at the end of this thing?
I mean,
Nyx can just walk right up it.
Right, can I stealth slowly to the end of the hallway?
Yes. Do you all want to wait for Nyx real quick?
Yes.
Let's get stealth roll from
Oh, this is nerve-wracking to
it's
get.
like there are hallways that go both directions.
Oh,
Maybe more than one.
okay. I don't know when to stop.
Did you roll stealth?
Oh, I didn't get a request. Hang on.
Oh.
Skill. Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. You're feeling pretty stealthy. Walking right down the center of the hallway.
I know. I stick us low to the ground and just pray that my dark fur is like blending in right now. Just like do 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 do. I see a giant staircase down here. Okay.
Yeah. So you see the giant staircase, and it goes up a little bit more. I'm just gonna quickly go woo woo and put you back there so you can see that.
Okay.
It goes up about 20 feet, so the top of the top of the stairs is level with these other areas here. And that at the top of the stairs on that little level way, there are two double doors that are 30-foot tall granite doors. And you can see that there's something carved on them, but you can't quite see what it is from here.
Okay. Can I get closer? Like stealth closer?
Yep.
Still? Oh god. Ooh. Hang on. Come on. Oh goodness. Okay. If I get there.
And you can see that they're definitely like the doors are made of granite, and they're carved with what looks like images of giants or giant gods locked in battle with dragons.
Okay. Carved door with giants locked in battle with dragons?
Yep.
I'm just gonna send a little message through the stone and be like, I think everybody should come to the end of the hallway.
I mean, like in this area here, does Amos see anything worth saying?
So, I mean, what you can see from there is kind of what you can see from there. It looks like there's these giant columns here, and then behind them, it looks like there's another hallway of some sort that goes both to the left and to the right.
Okay. Amos is just gonna peek his way. Whoa. It goes a long way. Amos is telling me.
No
Yep.
shit.
So it
No
goes a long
shit.
way in both directions. And what he sees in this direction is
Mhm.
that it looks like it opens up into a larger room.
Maybe we.
Okay. Well, let's. I was going to say that it's possible that this area up here might meet the area up the stairs that Nick's mentioned that I definitely told all of you about after they told me through the sending stone.
Silently.
Sure, but we could always climb up there on that ledge and make our way over to the Nicks at the stairwell.
Okay.
Probably less likely to trigger anything up there.
Okay. I'm already up here.
How high up
Should we-
did you say it was?
It's 20 feet.
Is it like climbable? Like are there
That's fine.
handholds?
Yeah. Your movement speed is just halved for climbing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can climb up.
Can Nick try to open these doors?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
So
Is that
in the way that so
And
so
we'll
as
start heading
soon as
back up.
Nyx puts their hand on the doors, you immediately feel how cold it is. Like it doesn't affect you because you're still attuned to the ring of warmth, but like it's cold. Like it's been cold for a long ass time. And you kind of push on it and it doesn't move. You're not sure if it's locked. You can't see any like lock mechanism. There's no handle. It
is it a
looks
pull
like the
door?
doors should just push open, but it does not move.
Oh. Is it pull? Pull!
And like I said, there's no handle, so like you're finding it hard to even get like a grip on it anywhere. Like there's no place to really grip in order to pull.
Interesting.
But we don't see the hinges on that side of the door.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can I
Yep. It just looked like
investigate
two
the
giant
door?
pieces of granite.
Can I know it's really cold. Can I investigate the door to see if there's like a puzzle or something to like open it? Like, because Nick saw Ma'am do the puzzle to open the other door before. Can Nick
Right.
kind of look around to see if there's something to open?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, you're feeling the carvings, of the giants and stuff, and you're pushing your thumbs into like the giant eyeballs and like on the butt, and like you're trying to like push the carvings, and nothing happens. Like it doesn't do anything.
It bounced off of a 20. Did you see that? I'm so sad. Okay, should I turn back around? I'm like messaging into the stone. Should I turn back around? Like this? Oh wait. Is this connected? Like, is there an area over here, or
There's
like
not.
over?
Don't
It's
know
just
yet.
a wall there.
Oh, it's just a
Yep.
wall.
We're looking at things up on the ledge, so you should come this way.
Okay, I will try to. Oop. Then I will go down the stairs and then try to get up onto the ledge over here, stealthily.
Yeah, you want another stealth roll? You're going very
Yes, please.
silently.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's over here, so I'm just gonna try to do it as stealthily
Oh,
as
yeah.
possible. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
With nothing else to concentrate on, Amos is going to turn. Oh, Amos is already invisible. Cool.
Okay, you did have him turn invisible. Oh, that's,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. So, and he's gonna again stealthily kind of go check out things in this room.
A stealth roll also. Did I do that? There we go.
Oh wait,
All right,
no,
very good.
it's 19.
So, like
Should have been
invisible
an
wind.
advantage, but
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's fine.
so
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so
here's the
he
thing.
enters that room there, and he sees it's about a 60-foot square room. There's really nothing in it except for there's a large iron lever in the south wall. So this here, it's huge iron level. It's about 12 feet off the ground, and you can see it's covered in like frost and almost like a small layer of ice. Yeah, and there's nothing.
Just the one of them.
What's that?
Just the one of them.
Correct. Just one lever.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
And compared to the size of Amos, like this thing is huge.
Yeah.
The lever itself is probably about the size of Nick's. I guess not.
Oh Jesus!
The giant-sized lever.
All right. Amos is gonna go ahead and use his dark vision and invisibility to kind of check out the other direction. Is there anything like on the back of the pillars or anything to notice?
Nope. But as he gets closer, what he does see up at the top here is it looks like this hallway ends in portcullis. Like what you were talking about before. There's the iron grates that come down, and the space between them is about 8 inches wide. So
not
really
small
designed
enough for
more
Amos to
than-
get through.
Correct. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So too small for Amos to get through. Okay. Then should we go check out the portcullis or check out the other side? Rather than make everybody climb down and back up again, I'll just have Amos fly over to the other side stealthily. I don't know how many rolls you need for that much movement.
We'll do one more. Depending on what you roll.
22.
Yeah. So none of you even see him fly over there.
Well, of course you don't. He's invisible.
Exactly.
So another portcullis on this side.
Yep.
And then I'm guessing another triggering mechanism on this side.
Yep. Same thing. It's a 60-foot room, nothing in it except this giant lever.
Cool. So then Zvazos, I'm not sure how strong, it's a cantrip, I'm not sure how strong thaumaturgy is, but it does say in the language of thaumaturgy that it can open an unlocked door.
Yep.
It doesn't specify size or shape.
Yep.
Do we want to go over to the door and try opening it magically? And see if it's just that it's too big and heavy? Or we could have Bart try and push it open. Bart,
Bart is like, I'm sure I can push it open.
Or do we want to have Bart try and haul up one of these portculli? Is that the plural portculli?
Wasn't there a room on either side here? Did we check those out?
Yeah, the rooms, there were just big open rooms with levers, Angus told me. So, I imagine that's where
probably to control the
the big droppy crushy thingies.
Yeah, let's go check out that big door.
Let's go check out the big door.
Right.
Do we want to bother still being stealthy?
Ma'am can try. Ma'am's not built for stealth. I mean, she doesn't have disadvantage or anything, so.
Yeah, neither does Varg.
Right. It's fine.
Well, let's, yeah, let's.
You can all be stealthy, right? Oh, yeah.
Amos is at advantage because he's invisible. Fuck you.
Vark's got the second highest roll. That's pretty good. All right, yeah. So, I mean, you're all above 10, so, you know, it's pretty good. You're all pretty quiet as you make your way over to the door. Oh, I can't see. I don't have a torch. I gotta wait for one of you guys. So I'm not sure that. How to do that.
Let's see. Ma'am's just gonna look at Vark and say, you want to see if we can't get these open?
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so you're just gonna push on the door, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna have you both do a strength check.
Swazos is going to stand behind them with his hollow bones and go, "Go, I believe in you."
All right, so Vark kind of slides a little bit, and he's not getting much purchase on it, but you feel like you got a great grip right on it, and you give it everything you've got. Like, it just doesn't move at all. Like, you feel like it should move, and you almost hear like a little a borderline creaking sound, but it just doesn't budge.
Can Swazos do an... Okay, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Nix, when you went over to the portcullis, you could see the same thing. The bars are made so that, they're probably the space between is about 8 inches. Maybe like a mouse or a rat could get through, but nothing else.
Okay. I was just confused at where everybody went because I looked down real quick and then looked up and everybody was, oh, Bubble.
How big is Bubble? Bubble's not more than 8 inches wide, is she?
Oh, is he? How big is
Or he?
Bubble?
I mean, he's
A hummingbird, right?
no,
tiny
he's
Becker.
yeah, which mechanically is an owl. Oh wait, do I have?
So,
I mean, just for shits and giggles, Swazos will try and cast thaumaturgy on it on the door.
yep. And kind of the same thing as you hear almost like a strange creaking sound, but it still doesn't open.
Could
Hang
I
Hang
help
on.
them with an Arcana check to see if there's a magical lock?
Hold
Yeah,
up.
Nyx kind of looked at it, but didn't get anything. But I think Ma'am might want to try taking a look herself.
So you're both proficient in Arcana. Does one of you? Ma'am's got a +7. Do you?
Yeah, I got a
Ma'am help.
I got a +4 or +5. Yes, I definitely want to give Ma'am help.
So we'll have you.
I'm going to go to the actions, and I'm going to click the help button. Click. I clicked it.
Oh, okay. You still have to click the advantage, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
Wow.
Oh dear.
Woof.
Oh
Yeah, I mean,
dear.
you're
It's a
giving
1
it a
and a
look, and you're
3.
like, yeah, you're like, it's really carved, really nice. It might be
Hang on.
magic, but
Hang on.
you can't
Hold up.
like you don't sense any magical energies from it or anything. But you're like, it's
Should
really
we
nice. Maybe.
should we go and see if Mam and Bart can't team up to haul one of those portcullis up enough
Well,
for us to get under it?
hold on. There's two. There's the. Hold the phone. It's matching on the other side.
Wait,
It's what?
what?
It's matching. It's mirrored. Do you think if we there was a lever on one side, do you think there was a lever on the other side?
There is a lever on the
But,
side.
yeah, there was.
Do you think if we had to pull both of the levers?
No, I think those levers. I think it's pretty obvious those levers were designed for the crushy traps in the entrance.
Are they?
Yeah, I mean they line up with them positioning wise. I'm sure
Oh.
Ace would be able to tell based on his very, very astute spatial perception of stuff.
Okay.
He went to
Do
architecture.
you
He did 2 semesters in architecture.
hang on? But do you think that those have to go down in order to open up the doors?
No, but I don't see any reason to think that they'd be connected in any way, shape, or form. How about this? Amos will. I'll have Amos fly back over to where those levers are, and then see if there's any kind of corresponding sound when I cast thaumaturgy again, and then you can come back and tell us. Because you said there was a creaking sound, like something was, preventing the doors from opening, even though we kind of get a sense that they should.
Yes.
And so if something happens, if there's some kind of vibration or sound,
You want to see if the levers are creaking or anything like that.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So boom, thaumaturgy.
yeah,
Amos comes back, tells me.
Yep. No creak. No creak
Well-
from the
No
levers. They don't seem affected at all.
While Amos is flying over there, I did like a magical check. Can I do more just like, I'm thinking an investigation, like just looking at it for like, I'm curious if there are any signs that these doors have opened recently or in the past, that kind of stuff.
Let's get investigation.
God!
Oh,
Wow!
You know,
You dropped a 1 on the last one.
Mam is just really drawn into those carvings of what look like giant gods. Like, and the depictions just really catch her attention, and she's having a hard time
Speaking
seeing
of
beyond the carvings.
This is some
Speaking of
really
gods.
nice work. Wow.
this is a long shot, but can I do a religion check and to try to see if there's a story that might help open the doors through the carver? I don't know. I have religion.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
I didn't. Okay. Okay. Is there? Well, it talks about like the gods. Can I see if there's a story like with the carvings?
Okay. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a religion check? Yeah.
Yeah, let's do a religion check and see if
Okay.
we
I
can
don't know.
think of
I'm
anything.
proficient with religion, so I'm just trying to figure out what I can do. Cause oh, for fuck's sake!
I think the true curse on this door is that nobody can roll above a 5 on any kind of check.
Figure it out.
Oh god.
I mean, you recall stories of that the giants and the dragons are kind of these arch nemesis from the stories, and this kind of reminds you of that type of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
hit it with fireball. Sorry.
I mean,
Sorry.
Fireball.
Sorry.
Okay with that.
Sorry. Yeah, if we back up far enough, I mean it's cold, right? It's really, really, really cold.
Granted, it's super cold when you touch it. I would say Mam and Vark also noticed that it's really cold, like colder than even the floor.
Oh, it's frozen. I mean,
Or is there
yeah.
like something that fire
Seems-
related?
I mean, like, I think it would be more effective to just hold torches up to where the hinges might be,
Oh.
and
Okay.
because like a fireball's going to go off, but
I mean, the torches have a lot less heat than a fireball would. But I mean, if you want to hold your torches to the door, you can do that too.
I mean, what about
dynamite?
what about control water? Does that do anything as far as freezing versus melting? Justin?
I
Oh, you don't have shape water.
have it.
You don't have shape water. That's right. That was salty.
I mean, what if you just hit it with firebolt?
I don't have firebolt anymore.
Oh.
I swapped it out at level 8 for Silver Dead.
I have oil flasks and gunpowder and things to set off.
Oh, we have the alchemy jug. We have the alchemy jug, and we can get 5 ounces of oil out of it. Nick, is that right?
I don't know. Somebody have the alchemy jug? Can you look at it?
I mean, it's. Is it in the party? No, it's not in the party sheet.
1 quart of oil.
Okay, so Lazarus will take the alchemy jug and just do whatever incantation it needs to manifest oil, and then just kind of pour it down the edge of the dagger into like the edge in between the door and the wall, and just kind of line up the whole edge of the doorway with it, and then light it with precipitation.
Oh Jesus!
Mam is going to move back.
Yeah, it's just a strip of oil. It's not gonna explode.
It's oil.
It's oil.
What's it? I mean, it's essentially a fuse. But yeah, so in my head, it's like a fuse. But
Yeah. So we're just gonna step back and treat it like fire.
Everybody can step back.
Okay. All right.
And I
So
can cast precipitation.
so you're lighting this thing?
Yeah, you
We're
betcha.
lighting the door on fire.
Okay. So you see, the trail of oil that leads to the door, and you've pretty well soaken it all the way around. Did you get in between as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So you pour it all over that, and you light it, and you see that the flame takes off towards the door, and it just goes up, and it burns there for a little bit. It burns for a little bit, and then it goes out.
Okay. Thaumaturgy.
Okay. So you thaumaturgy, and you hear kind of a bit of a creak, and then you hear a crack,
Oh Jesus!
and the door moves open a little bit, and you as it moves open, like you can see there's ice on the backside of it, like thick ice.
Oh, we need to melt through ice.
I mean, yeah, I really wish I had firebolt.
You get the impression that if you were to do the oil thing again, that might be enough.
Do I still have oil left in the jug? Did I use all the whole
I
quart?
have more. I have
32 ounces of it?
So just
I have another flask.
I mean, it's a quart's 32 ounces, so.
yeah. I mean, I'll say yes. There. I just put the alchemy jug. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. I would say a quart is enough to do it twice. So yeah. So you're able to pour it. You light it again. And you can start to see now as water kind of puddles down at the bottom of the door, and you hit it with another thaumaturgy, and it cracks just enough where you can get through to the other side.
Oh God. Okay. That was a fucking like a trip and a half. All right. We going? We going.
Okay.
We go. We going. We going forward. Forward. Oh shit. Okay.
Is everybody able to fit through?
Yeah, I mean, Vark has to kind of chip it away a little bit with his axe to get his big ass through, but yes, everyone's able to get through at that point.
This looks like a fucking maze. Hang on. Oh
So
dear.
yeah, so as you kind of come in here, so there's a very thick frost clinging to every surface of this room. It looks like the ceiling. You've got pretty good vision. Actually, Amos has good enough vision to see that this vaulted chamber is about 100 feet high, and that there are 7 enormous statues dominating this room. The largest of them is in the center, and it's an 80-foot tall robed giant with his arms outstretched and his face hidden beneath a stony cowl, facing what you kind of see on the other side, which is a glowing archway in the east wall. Kneeling in rows on each side of this giant statue are 6 smaller statues, smaller meaning half its size, 40 feet tall, each impressive in its own right and depicting a paragon of a type of giant. And you can see that there's the hill giant, a stone giant, a frost giant, a fire giant, a cloud giant, and a storm giant. Each of the smaller giants face the bigger one in the room's center. And in each of their outstretched arms, they each hold weapons, almost like a gift towards their Allfather. However, you do notice that the frost giant's hands are empty, as if his weapon is gone. The archway at the far end of the hall is 80 feet wide, 80 feet tall, and you can see 6 giant runes carved into it, each one inlaid with what looks like mithril, and a fine glowing mist fills the archway. And niches in the walls on either side of it contain empty, ice-covered sconces made of iron. So you can kind of see, like right here, there's this little sconce right here. There's a sconce. They look exactly like the ones in the last room where there are iron sconces in this small niche, but there doesn't appear to be any carbon or any burning.
Sorry,
So,
there's how
with
many
the-
runes?
6 runes.
And
Thank
with
you.
the weapons, sorry, go ahead, Eliza. Finish what you're saying.
No, I just said thank you. That's all I wanted to know. Were
Oh,
how many
okay.
runes?
I'm curious, but you said the frost giant's weapon was missing.
Correct. Yeah, each one of the giants is like proffering their weapon to the giant, and the
Okay,
frost
and
giant, their hands are empty.
So the statues, are they holding the other statues? Are they holding weapons, or are they built into the statue as if to be part of the image? Like, is it possible that something took it?
Actual weapons, like you could walk up and lift them out of their hands.
Well, I mean, I couldn't.
You couldn't, no.
Can
Dark
I
might, but they're humongous and not wieldable.
can I read the runes?
It's less wording and more of a giant rune. You have studied runes, so you do kind of understand the runes themselves. So you can kind of read them, but you don't necessarily understand what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of what you're seeing, and I'll go ahead and put the translation under it as well. So that's kind of what the archway looks like, and you've got the 4 runes. The wording underneath it is how you understand those runes to be translated,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't necessarily know what that means.
Interesting.
I mean, there's 6 of them. There are 6 giants.
That's what I was trying. That was what I was thinking.
Yeah, do they have any connection to like the names of those giants in the giant language? Or like elements or anything?
Yes, almost literal translation, but not quite. So you've got like from bottom left, you've got hill, sky, cold. I'm sorry. Starting from the bottom left, hog would be hill, sky would be sky, ild would be fire, uvar would be storm, stein would be stone, and eyes would be ice.
So, should we go check out the archway?
Are they in order? Like, if I look at the archway and I look at the ones that are in kneeling position to the center, are they in order?
Like how do you mean order?
Like, sorry, like if I like on one side, does the hill, sky, fire match? Like that on one side there's hill, sky, fire, and then like on the other
Oh, I
side
see what you're
there's
saying. I'm not sure. Let me see. I would say no.
okay. Okay.
And that's literally me looking at these actual statues and guessing which one is supposed to be, but it doesn't look like they match up. No.
Oh, hold up. Is this the ordering? Like from greatest at the top to the bottom, which is hill and ice, hill and frost? No, maybe I'm thinking too much into it. Aren't I?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, because fire's at the top too, and that's not. So no.
Hild is fire and storm, and then stone and sky, and then hill and ice.
Yep.
But okay. Okay, so no, I'm thinking too much into it.
Yeah, that's not.
That's not it. Okay, but the more important thing is that the frost giant doesn't have their weapon, which is
Correct.
an axe.
Correct.
Okay.
And
okay, so this
you can also see at this point, or what's his face has pointed out, Amos, that there are giant double doors like the ones you came through, to the south and to the north.
Fucking.
And there's another set on either side as well. And they look to be covered in ice as well, like the same thickness as the doors you just came through.
Okay, so to get to the Eye of the Allfather, this isn't it. Obviously, we need to go through the glowing door.
It would
Assumingly.
seem.
It
Yeah.
would seem. So
Is there anything behind the big giant statue?
Anything behind?
Yeah, like
Yeah, like if we
obelisk.
walk to the back of it.
That would actually be the front.
Oh, that's the front. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, that's the front. So is that like a cape he's got on?
Yes. Yeah, he's a cloaked hooded god.
See. And nothing up against. This is just a wall.
That's the glowing archway.
Ah, I see.
If we, I think I can. Does it look like the portcullis come into this room as well?
Yes, you can see
If I were to go
the
all
two
the way back over
hallways
there.
that lead to the portcullis
Yeah.
come in as well. They are open
Okay.
hallways. Yep.
And all the giant statues are facing the middle one, right?
Yes, they're all like kneeling to the Allfather, holding their weapons up almost in tribute.
And I assume as we if we're walking around this place, and I mean between Amos and Nyx, nobody's seen a great big axe lying around.
No, you have not seen a great big axe lying around in here.
There is, however, a weird indent all the way on the other side over here that I'm not really sure. I don't know if that's because the ice is cracking, but there's a weird little indent over here.
Do we want to see what's through these other doors, or do you want to just move on through the archway? And
yeah, that's like a fissure in the wall. Next,
Got it.
Because there's as you can see, there's cracks. There's another one over here as well, and you can
Okay.
kind of it's big enough where you could kind of wiggle into it, but it doesn't go anywhere that you can see.
Doesn't go anywhere. Okay, but this is a giant archway, yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's the archway.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and then the giant is facing it.
Yes.
Okay.
Are we able to go through, or is it still closed?
It's solid. You could, it's kind of a misty, glowing appearance, but if you try to it's a solid wall.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to look at the other doors. Where's the frost giant? Where's the frost giant, and what doors that were the closest to?
I think this is the frost giant.
Cool. Oh, they're right next to the fissure. How great. Okay, this is the closest door. I just want to test this door.
Yeah,
well, it's covered in ice.
frost.
So that door looks like the ones you came in through, where there's like a thick layer of ice covering it.
Oh, fudge.
Sounds like the kind of thing Vark would be super jazzed about.
Ice?
Because it doesn't kill anything, but he could smash it. He could.
I get to smash something
and have it very
ice.
satisfyingly fall into giant chunks that he could then smash even further and make himself a snow cone.
Okay, can I layer this door with one of my flasks and leave a little trail of powder and light it?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna stand over here.
I mean, if you want to conserve your powder, either Nam or I could just light it with prestidigitation.
No, I'll put a little pile of powder right next to the door, just to see.
Cool.
Just to see what it does.
Mim also doesn't have prestidigitation for what it's worth.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway, so gunpowder. I think I have a little flask of that. Let me look.
So are you using gunpowder on this door or oil?
Oh, I put oil on it,
Okay.
but then I put a little pile of, where did I have it? I had, I like an urn. Let me just see how much. I think I had a gunpowder horn. There it is. And I didn't want to use all of my gunpowder, but I understand that I might have to get rid of this.
And so you know that an oil. I'm telling you this because I just looked it up. So you know that an oil flask holds 1 pint of oil, and
Okay.
that there are 2 pints in a quart,
Mm-hmm.
and that the quart you just used was just enough to fully melt the ice.
Okay.
Why?
So I would
Why-
need to use
So it takes
2.
2 flasks of oil to melt through the ice.
Oh, I would have figured that we'd have better, from the side the ice was on, rather than trying to melt it through the door. We'd have a better effect. But that makes sense to have you explain it that way.
Okay, so I have 4 flasks of oil. So I took 2 out of my inventory, and I have 2 left. And
I mean, we have
I'm
Ark and Mayhem also. Does anybody want to just smash some ice?
and I'm gonna light. I'm just gonna light this one, and then
sure, no,
can chip
yeah.
away. We can chip away at the ice after. I want this door. I'm not gonna use gunpowder anymore because I don't think that's a good idea. But I am gonna light this door.
All right, so you do that. It takes a few minutes, and you go ahead and you light it up, and sure enough, you can see the water pooling. The oil just has enough purchase to really kind of dig through enough, where Barnock can just kind of give it a good kick, and it just kind of cracks conveniently right down the center enough to then thaumaturgy the door open, just enough to get through.
Oh, this might be a situation where like 2 doors go into the same room. Hang on. Why is it closed now? Open. Everyone's like trying to click the door. Alright, there we go, there. Okay. Yeah, it totally is that situation where 2 doors go into one room. It might not be the same on the other side, but
So kind of looking at this room, you can see that this is a humongous room. Something like, almost 250 feet wide. It looks like, okay. Why are you still moving? You should be locked. I did kind of warn about running into a room
sorry.
far ahead of other people. So as you kind of look into this room, it is a big, huge room, and Nix and Amos at this point have seen that in the center of this room, there is a gigantic. Where's my thing? Sorry. Lost my place here. Sorry. Okay. It is approximately 250 feet wide, about 400 or more feet long, with a 200-foot wide alcove in the center of the east walls. You can see these 6 huge pillars, about 20 feet wide and 60 feet tall, support the vaulted ceiling, and the walls are lined with niches and sconces, identical to the ones you've seen so far. Iron sconces look like they're made for torches, but no burning on the things. Interestingly enough, this room is actually quite warm and dry, and apparently close to the center there, it's fairly well lit near the center of the room. And the source of light is a giant raging fire contained within a bowl-shaped basin at the center of the chamber. You're not sure, neither Amos nor Nix are really sure exactly how it just continues to burn. But arranged around the fire pit are 6 tables carved out of granite with matching benches and a couple of 9-foot tall stone slabs that, per your quick investigation, look like they might be stained with old blood or grease or other stuff.
Like food stuff or nasty stuff?
Like maybe it was used to either serve or prepare foods and meats and things like that.
And
I didn't mean to run ahead. I was just trying
yeah,
to.
no, I realized I was doing the Amos too. It was pretty dumb.
As you kind of get into the firelight, you start to kind of, Nyx, you feel this. Amos has no idea because he's flying, but you feel a slight tremor in the floor.
Mhm.
And as you're kind of making your way around, where is it? Shit, I just had it. I just lost it. You hear the sounds of what sound like stone cracking.
Okay, from any particular direction?
From kind of that direction, in the alcove.
You mean the alcove that I ran to?
Yes, the
Oh
alcove.
shit! All
You
right,
ran
all
directly
right. Can I stop and then like stealth around the pole to take a look?
to. You can. Before you do that, I'm gonna have everybody roll initiative.
Initiative, got it.
Should we do that at the beginning of next session? Oh, we can.
What time is it? Oh, I didn't realize it was so close. Yes. Why don't we wait? Why don't we wait to actually roll the initiative until next session? So we will start the next session with whatever it is you may have
Awoken? Fuck.
awoken here in this ancient temple. It's nice and warm and so
Oh, tremors
awesome.
in floor. And that's where we fade to black, everybody.
That's
You did warn us not to run ahead, and I was just like,
I did
oh, it's
warn
a
you.
black space. It's a black space. Let me see what I can find around this
And we
corner.
hadn't seen anything. We've been like, oh, I stealthily, blah, 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 for so long. And now all of a sudden.
Yep.
Yep.
So
You
happens
went
in
in a
the
nice
neighborhood.
warm room and
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, fantastic.
Cool.
So you all have an airship now, assuming you make it out of the temple. So that'll be fun, huh?
Yes, it will.
Yeah.
We just awoke something and in a fucking temple. Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Good times. Good times.
Good times. Good times. We did get warned. All
I
right.
made sure to warn you.
Yes, you did. And I was just like automatically like, oh, black space. Let me try to clear it, and then went, oh shit.
Yep. That may or may not be the only place in the dungeon where it's important not to run ahead. Maybe, possibly, or not. Who knows? All right, cool.